Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you happen to be in the world. Welcome to tradertv.live. North American stock futures looking to extend declines from yesterday's session as we get the weekly jobless claims number just out. 348,000 in the U.S. Last week versus an expectation of 363,000. So a little bit less than expected there on the weekly jobless claims number, which should help things out here. Overall, a little bit of negativity continuing, as I said, as we head into this morning. All focus remaining on some of the comments that came out of the Fed minutes yesterday, the latest meeting of the Fed. A lot more support for tapering than initially thought. So tapering back on the table possibly sooner than later. 120 billion in monthly spending still coming from the Fed. We had energy markets sharply lower late in the day yesterday, continuing today as a result. Just on concerns of overall global growth and the economic recovery. Goldman Sachs also out this morning lowering their economic growth forecast for the remainder of the year and the quarter as well, 5.5%. That's down from 9% prior. Lots of earnings to talk about this morning. NVIDIA reported, obviously. We'll discuss that. And Robinhood, the big one, down sharply here in the pre-market. It's Thursday, August 19th, 2021. TraderTV.live starts now. And there we go. As mentioned, we are back in the red. Once again, the Dow leading 0.88 to the downside, 0.75 for the S&P, about 0.6 for the NASDAQ there. Yeah, look at crude, 3+% in negative territory on those growth concerns and overall economic recovery concerns. So worth having a look at some of the energy sector today. To see if we can't spot some opportunities. Crypto's not really doing much, a little bit red, but holding about where we were overnight and at the end of the day yesterday. Good morning, guys. It is a Thursday. Interesting one setting up here. Second day in a row, a little bit more negative feel to the overall market after that sell-off that we saw triggered yesterday, as we said, by the Fed minutes.
Absolutely, Brendan. And hodling, I think, is the term you want to use there. No, all kidding aside. It's funny how we use the term like sell-off when the market goes like 1%. It just sort of feels like, you know, we're in this situation where it just seems like you only go up, and yeah, 1 or 2% seems to get people riled up a little bit. Obviously, the tapering talk is going to matter. If you haven't been watching that PMCB, well, we say this all the time. One of the risks of holding on to one of these and not taking your gains, and I'm talking about one of these small cap runners, is the offering can come through. And these low float runners, these will happen. And anyone that held and did not get out in the pre-market, you know, if you got it from pre-market yesterday, I guess technically you're still maybe flat. But yeah, this one trading heavily down, not really doing a heck of a lot. But there's always that risk of an offering with a lot of these names. So, you know, kind of tread lightly. No one ever went broke by taking profits. Good to be trading these because they're what's moving. And you watch that SNOA today and SONN, which we'll both be looking at today. But be very, very careful holding these, you know, for multiple days, overnight. You know, take your profit when you can.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't even had a 5% pullback. This wire looks like it's in the way there. We haven't even had a 5% pullback in the market in like a year, over a year, I think it is. So, you know, could we get one soon? Maybe. Maybe it's the start now. I don't think so, but, well, maybe. We'll see. Trim if you think that. We talked about this yesterday. But look at XOM. You talked about that with oil there, Brendan, and you guys know that we put on some puts up here, $63, $64, and it's actually now right where we need it to be. So a little bit of a faster move in oil than I even thought. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 straight down days, and now we're going to open up at $53. So we made a nice little play there, getting some options and some puts here on XOM, and we did talk about that on the show. So hopefully you guys were able to put some on as well, and if not, XOM right now is breaking exactly where we thought it would. My puts are actually right here at 55, so they're well in the money now. And why did we put 55s on? Is just this key level right here. So let's see where we go now to the downside with XOM and oil down 3%. And yeah, I mean, a little bit of a correction time right now, I think, in the market. But hey, it was a strong quarter from NVIDIA, so I'm thinking that they can pull the stock market up a little bit here.
Yeah, I did see some of the other chip makers back in negative territory as well. AMD below recent lows, so We'll talk about the chip makers coming up here. Before we go any further, though, let's get over to the desk and say good morning to Miss V.
Good morning, team. I hope you will have a good day, and I wish you all the luck. Please make sure to like this video, and let's get it started, Brandon.
Let's get it started indeed, guys. Just saw Canadian non-farm employment numbers as well, 221 versus a decline of 294. So also better than expected here in Canada as well. On the employment number, VSCO, Victoria's Secret obviously spun off going back to, what was the first day of trade there? August 3rd. Reported earnings, they're down as well. No volume here whatsoever, but another noteworthy name to keep an eye on this morning. But the big one's obviously going to be Robinhood, guys, down significantly. When I sat down, about 11% to the downside. Really hasn't done much in the pre-market. Decent amount of volume, but Robinhood going to be on everyone's mind and under pressure so far this morning.
Yeah, and like some of the, they mentioned it in their note, of course. Heavily reliant on crypto trading. You know, one out of every $4, and then one out of every three of the actual crypto trading going to be in Dogecoin specifically. And they cited Dogecoin specifically, saying if there is a pullback in I suppose the interest in trading or even in the price, that they could suffer some possible headwinds because of that. And then you throw in when they talked about guidance that you're going to have a slowdown in trading at this time, usually anyways for equities, which is a small part of their trading. Yeah, you're not going to get this number digested pretty well. There's a few things in context to keep in mind, however. If you do look at the structure of how this opened up, you know, right around that 38, and then it was a couple of days worth of selling before breaking out through 40. You know, the regional range they wanted was like a 38 to 42, and then you kind of went into this. It was like a meme run, and it was slowly unwinding that, and then holding a floor here at 45, 46, still well above that offering range. So that 38 to 42 still gets held up here. We're not really testing. I thought there'd be a decent chance that if they disappointed or the market saw disappointment, which it has, that would be testing some of those levels. So I'm watching for that 42 to be sure. But you have to put it in context, right? Like a lot of that run up that got you to 80, like if you say the stock's cut in half from tops, you can't really think of it that way when a lot of that price action. I don't know that it will be that relevant unless there's another squeeze, at which point then maybe we start considering those. So put some things in context for Robinhood. It's coming right back into where things opened up, and there was a lot of negative chatter around those prices that, you know, obviously was clearly wrong. I mean, I was thinking to myself, well, pay for order flow was already under challenge. People are talking about it every single day. So where's the long term going to work for Robinhood? And they're still holding up above those prices. So it looks like they might have some support on the horizon, at least when you go back and look at how things started out when they first got issued. So down that 10%, like you said, Brennan, it's doing some volume, but not a heck of a lot of movement. If anything, remember, when it was all doom and gloom those first couple of days, there was a rip your face off rally. So you can't forget how things started off with Robinhood.
We're already in Macy's right now, but I mean, a quote from the earnings call on Robinhood is, we expect seasonal headwinds and lower trading activities across the industry to result in lower revenues and considerably fewer new funded accounts. So when you're going to talk like that, it's not going to be great. So we'll wait to see. I mean, again, my chart hopefully will load at some point. We'll wait to see what happens here, though. I think you do get a little bit of a rally here through 46. So I'm going to be looking to buy 46s. But again, 400,000 shares isn't a whole hell of a lot for right now for Robinhood. It's only 840. So let's wait to see what happens. We've been holding some bottoms here at 44 and change. So you know, for right now, I mean, Neil went over some of the numbers and some of the talk there, and I just gave you a little quote as well. So they didn't really speak too well on anything here, Robinhood. So we'll just wait we'll wait to see where it opens. I want to see what the imbalance looks like. You're down that 10% right now. Remember, if it goes minus 10, then it's SSR, meaning that you can't go short unless it upticks you and you get hit off the ask. So it should be a fun day here for Robinhood. Let's wait to see where it goes. I know a lot of you are trading it. So some of you own Robinhood shares and some of you are like down with Robinhood. So let's wait to see. It should be a fun one. There's going to be a lot of traders on this name. So I'm looking to go long through 46. I mean, it's on the sticky note. So we'll wait to see where it goes from here. But I just want to see what happens. There is support at that 44 level. So we'll wait on that one. But right now we are 7 cents in the money on Macy's, and we didn't get the best bid. I mean, I have bids in here, 8s, 9s, 1s, things like that. Yeah, see, the chart's still not flipping. But we take a 27 break. We'll get out for a little bit on this one, but I love Macy's much more than I love Robinhood.
Yeah, Macy's with a great report out as well, so we'll talk about that. But quickly, guys, as far as automakers are concerned, we're going to talk about Tesla. They have their AI day, second AI day, so that's coming up for Tesla. But this note just out a little while back there, about 20 minutes or so. Ford halting some production again in Kansas City this time because of this ongoing chip shortage. I mean, the whole market's down across the board, but some of these automakers a little bit more than the rest of the market. So 1.7 here for Ford, excuse these wicks on this chart, but GM I noted as well, also under pressure here in the pre-market.
Yeah, GM's slightly worse than Ford at the current moment. Just broke well, I shouldn't say just broke. It's been holding below 50, just broke overnight, but just holding below this 50 mark on General Motors, guys, and Ford below that 13 level. This is actually pretty interesting support when you look at the daily chart, just for GM in particular, because this was like a kind of a pivot point at like 48. So, this is a pretty interesting area. Everybody knows that timelines might vary for when some of these supply constraints will change or maybe have a bit of a turnaround, but it is going to be temporary, whether we're talking about 9 to 12 months or 12 to 18 months. Those are all going to change, and those are all going to be different across the board, and they're all just estimates. But if you put the longer view in, this is not a bad area for GM. I think the one concern you do have, of course, is, like Sean mentioned, we haven't had a 5% pullback. So some of the price areas that you might be looking for buys, it's like, well, if you let the market roll a little bit, possibly roll over a couple of extra points to the downside, you might pick up better prices. But GM's starting to get to that zone where it could make a little bit of sense around that 48 level. I mean, to that point, like there's stocks that I'm looking for breakdowns in, like Lemonade, randomly speaking. Like I think that's going to probably break down in the next few days or so. If the market continues to capitulate, might be some good value to be had if that breaks into the 50s. So you start thinking about things along those lines. GM at a key 48 level, and if that were to break, there could be some deals to be had on like a snap bottom. So keep watching for those levels. I don't think I'll be trading GM or Ford today in particular, but if that 48 breaks, yeah, then there's going to be some buying opportunities because it should flush through there.
Like Ford already has more volume on it today than Robinhood, right? So I think there's going to be some trading opportunities here. It's right at this level 12, 12.75. I think if you're not in it, you could buy some here. I was giving warnings at 16, and I hope you guys saw those. So hopefully no one's caught here. Macy's continuing to run now, 20 cents in the money. Yeah, so that's a good spot there. And then honestly, it's doing a lot of volume because there's a couple big prints here, 150,000, and then another 50,000 there, and then a couple little small ones as we go. But yeah, we'll bounce around here on Ford, and then we'll see. Let's go to a 20-minute chart here because I do want to buy some Ford at some point today. Let's just wait to see. Yeah, so we need to get up to this 1290 area here. I mean, it's been a beautiful drop to the downside here if you're looking to get long. And I think there are going to be some opportunities to buy some of these shares soon. And remember, it still is the summertime. It's very, very, wow, there goes Macy's again. It's a very, very slow period to trade right now. And a lot of the big money is going to be on the sidelines and at least waiting for probably another 1 or 2 weeks here into September. Then we'll see where we go. But we're going to, wow, yeah, Macy's, yeah, 1950 right now. So that's a good one there. And, back to Ford, they're selling tons of cars. Hopefully the semi shortage is over with, and then we don't have to worry about that frame of mind. And then also with used car sales, I think they may have peaked as well. So I'm thinking that more new car sales coming through for Ford and GM. And then of course I'm already hella long Tesla, so that's good. 1927 we're long here on Macy's, guys. It's at 1955, 1956, and still making moves to the high side. So we've already got a nice little backflip trade on board right here, Brendan.
All right, Luis Barbado is owner and operator of the Day Trade the World trading floor in Barcelona, Spain. Joins us once again to discuss a interesting Thursday morning. Luis, great to have you as always. Afternoon for you, beautiful one, I imagine, over in Barcelona once again. We've been discussing the summertime trade over the past couple of days. Looks like it's continuing this morning, although as we said, a little bit more negative after the Fed meeting minutes yesterday. How have you been approaching this market in these conditions with lower volume and lower volatility overall?
Yeah, Good morning for you, Brennan. As you say, summer action here. It's a little bit lower volume. You have to be very patient during the day, waiting for the trades to jump into your screen. You cannot follow trades. You cannot chasing trades because there is no continuation movement. So very patient, waiting for a movement. You trade that stock for 50 minutes, half an hour, maybe 1 hour, and then it's done for the day. So there is no one single stock that is moving and having a lot of volume during the day. So we have to jump from one stock to the other because of the summer action. So it is more difficult than some months ago, summer action, but still we have the market down today. So a little bit more volume everywhere. And we still have some earnings today as Macy's, Nvidia, and Robinhood are the three main earnings watchers here in the room.
Yeah, it's one of those things that I feel new traders especially struggle with a little bit as we come in and out of different seasons in the market. You have to be able to shift your focus and shift your approach on a daily basis almost. As you mentioned, some earnings to talk about this morning. Robinhood has given traders in general all kinds of opportunities over the past couple of weeks. Give us your take on this report first off and what we've seen over the past couple of days for HOOD.
Yeah, today 9% down. So we will see if it breaks these pre-market highs, 45.60s, 45.80s. In that case, we might see a movement to 48, but not enough volume right now, even though with the earnings in play, not enough volume for us. In the small cap world, we have two big names today: SNOA, SNOA, and SON, SONN. Both of them moving around 100% in the day. The bad news: hard to borrow and locate, a little bit expensive. But in the SNOA movement, $9.50 and $10 were very, very important levels. So let's see, above $10, we have only the all-time highs in 15s. Important stock is NOAA and SON as well.
We've spoken in the past about very, very small. This is a nano cap stock, 11 million market cap for SNOA, 2 million share free float on that one as well. When you see a number like that, such a teeny tiny little float, how much caution do you put on the short side, especially for a trade like that?
As you say, especially in the short side, if the short interest is high, the low float, very, very careful. If we are taking important levels at 9.50, 10, we are very, very aware. It is true that you have some nice opportunities in the short squeeze moment. So if it jumps in the opening, you have to be very, very, very careful because of this low float and big short interest ratio. So careful, but it gives you also, after half an hour, 1 hour, some fading movements. Okay, so after the short squeeze, we're trying to look for shorts for a fading in the afternoon and in the evening.
Out of the spectrum here, as far as liquidity is concerned, Macy's, as we said, reporting earnings, really good report right across the board, especially compared to the pandemic-affected year-over-year number there was just blown out of the water. What are your thoughts on Macy's today?
Is that one kind of a stock that we don't really like, to be honest. With the time, the stocks, how they move. Each stock, they have their own style of movement, we could say. And Macy's is one of those stocks that after many, many years trading, I don't like how it moves. It moves a little bit trending, very linear movements without a lot of noise up and down. So without these small movements up and down, without this noise, I don't have really a clue. I don't have more of what's going on, if the buyers are winning the fight or the sellers. So it is one of the stocks that I try to avoid because of this linear movement that we really don't like here in our trading floor for our strategy. Of course, good reports, moving up, and it's a stock that, as you say, during the pandemic has been punished very low prices for the last month. So it might break highs, but we are going to try to avoid going in this kind of stocks.
Luis Barbado from the Day Trade the World trading floor in Barcelona, Spain. Best of luck today. Enjoy the rest of the summer, Luis. We appreciate your time as always.
Thank you very much, Brendan. Say hi to Sean and Neil.
Will do. Have a great day. Another one, guys, worth mentioning, Kohl's here on the list as well, but KSS, another retailer with a decent report, doing a decent amount of volume here. Estee Lauder, another earnings name. We had Cisco report. So a number of different angles to take on this morning.
No, there absolutely is. And I think, like, look, you go to the catalyst and maybe you pull in a few names that you might not have been usually interested in. And like you talked about Kohl's there because there's not a heck of a lot moving the way that this has in the pre-market off of their good report. And you saw, what the cost was in sort of writing off lows and thinking that there might not have been anything there just because typically it's not a stock that we might be day trading. And then I don't know that there was a more impressive gainer or opportunity than low. So I don't want to write any of these ones off here. Now, we can talk a little bit about Kohl's. And it might not be a setup that sounds like it's sexy, especially when you look at the daily chart here. But support off of this nice little cluster at 52 was the first thing that caught my attention. Now, are we going to get a shot to play off some of these levels? I don't know that we're going to, but this isn't a solid spot to be breaking out back at least to like a 58 level, which is a few bucks away from here. So there are opportunities to be had. A couple of names that we're going to get involved in. Well, I'm already in that one of the two names that was mentioned by Lewis there, and that is SON. I don't want to get these two mixed up because SNOA, Sonoma, and Sonnet are two different symbols. So SONN, which is Sonnet, that's the one that I'm actually sitting in. They're on our watch list here, but I just want to sort of highlight this cluster up here between, on the daily chart, 145 and then 175. So that was going to be an actionable area for me the second I sat down on this stock. I saw it roll over, and I love the short. I love the gap up and then consolidate lower after a breakdown. Now, I'm not going to get the two breakdown that happened before 7 a.m. Didn't even have locates at that particular point. But the lower consolidation was right about here at 170. Now, I like that 170 to 175 like I just showed you on the daily chart. Didn't catch it there, but it comes right back and tests that level. That's when I grab 67s. I've already scalped some out into 150, so pretty solid. And then ignore this wick here. We're basically holding off of these lows. And you have to have some concern when this 145 to 150 holds. Remember, I showed you on the daily chart, that active range was 145 to 175 where they had some price acceptance. So expect there to be support, and that's why covering some shares any chance I get in front of that 145. So that's the thought process on SONN. Its volume is really good. Liquidity is pretty solid. On SNOA, the other one, man, that float is only 2 million shares, and liquidity will be at a premium. If there's one that's going to halt multiple times off the open, it's going to be SNOA for sure.
Yeah, I have KSS. It's written on my sticky note. I like KSS. I don't trade it in these small names as much as Neil does, but I do like KSS here. Retail is big. We talked about that. You're going to see Macy's. I'm already in Macy's. So we'll wait to see what happens here with Kohl's. I like it. I know Warren Buffett's buying this name as well. Down here, 52, 50-ish, something like that wouldn't be too bad. So we have some lower bids here on KSS. Hopefully that'll work. Then we're just going to be looking at Macy's as well today. So a couple good stocks on watch, and thank you to Lewis for coming on the show.
We were talking a little bit yesterday, guys, about the comparable numbers, especially in the retail side of things, year over year. Obviously, the pandemic affected comparable numbers from last year are going to be blown out of the water across the board. So we'll keep an eye on some of the retailers today. I want to talk about vaccine makers here real quick because Pfizer is setting up for another day to the downside here. We had the White House come out yesterday saying they're going to make a third shot, booster shot available starting September. That had initial positivity on the day for all of them. I mean, I just pulled up Pfizer. You can look at any of them. But down here again today, guys, I mean, all of these kind of look the same on a daily chart, but a little more negativity once again.
We went up and down with Pfizer yesterday. We liked the 50-50 break, and we took it. It worked. And then we went short. That didn't work on some of that rumor there about maybe that booster not being done or required or whatever it was. And then now it's coming back to the downside again, and we did short it. We went long early, and then we shorted it late and caught a nice little win here into the close on Pfizer. And then today, we're opening way down. Well, not way down, but you're down almost at 2% here, and I think it's going to get even worse. And again, it's too high. It's not that it's too high. I don't know where it's supposed to go, but I mean, it's well extended. I mean, anytime. This is why I look at the 50 period. And I'm glad to bring this to you guys here since day one on the show. This has been the #1 indicator that I've been sort of pumping and watching, and we're way extended up, right? I mean, does it deserve to be? Yeah, sure. The vaccines have been a huge success, and hopefully more people will be taking them for Pfizer's sake, and we'll see if that can continue to go to the upside. But hey, once everybody has shots in arms, I mean, Pfizer probably does pull right back down. So you got to look out for these levels like 43, 44. I don't have puts on this, but I think it's probably worth it. Unlike Moderna, I think Moderna has a lot more going for them on the upside than Pfizer does. I think Moderna has, they're working on cancer vaccines. They're testing right now an HIV vaccine. So I just think that Moderna is a little more interesting on the science side of things. Pfizer has, more of a brand loyalty to some of their names. Like, I mean, Viagra's off brand now. They don't have the rights to that anymore in the proprietary pill form there. But we'll wait to see as Pfizer comes back down. I like Pfizer to the short side today, and we'll just have to wait to see what levels want to crack, and we'll do a little bit more work once the market opens. But I think 47.50 is a pretty low spot there for Pfizer.
Speaking of Moderna, obviously a much, much different chart as well, because they've come off that 500 top, and you're sitting down in this range. You go to the 15-minute because there's been a lot of acceptance between 380 and 410, with the exception of you had this 2-day pull right into that 350 mark, and then support a little bit higher at 355. We get right back in and fail at 400, try to take out that 410 yesterday at the open and fail to do so. So if you start thinking about it in the other way, if we get a nice bounce off of 380 here, and look, if 380 breaks, it's going to be hard not to think about the short that was missed yesterday on Moderna. So I like that trade. I like the rollover as well. But how many times is this going to try and take out that 410 area? And there's a monster gap to be filled if it were ever to get back above that 410. So you have to look for this. And it's not to say that these aren't related names. Of course, they're absolutely related, but there's very, very vastly different looking charts here, at least in terms of finding a bit of a bottom recently on Moderna and then putting in a higher low and then setting up for that 410 area. So I could have missed this trade here at 410, and maybe there's a chance that there does a pop up to 410 and there's a short in it, but it was much, much sexier yesterday to have had that short, which I didn't. I just think if 380 doesn't break, you're just counting the days until you can actually take the breakout at that 410 level, because it's got a good 20, 30 point runway.
All right, guys, we'll get a check on a few analyst moves for you this morning. Interesting names on here. There's NVIDIA. We'll discuss the earnings coming up. Carnival on here as well. Yep, AMC to the upside. Citigroup thinks it's worth $5, and that's a price target increase from Citigroup. Oatly at the bottom of the list there. Roku to the downside, under pressure a little bit here in the pre-market. Nothing else terribly exciting on the downside, though, guys.
Yeah, we had AMC yesterday when the momentum was going crazy. Oh, good. There are some trades here. It was a trade of the day yesterday. Some nice little longs off the open. We have a way bit different feeling today on AMC. The momentum was really strong over the last couple of days on AMC, and then yesterday happened. So, 4 or 5 straight up days, and then we started to fade out a little bit. And it's at that same level again. It's having a very, very hard time with $40. And that's why yesterday, when we topped this out right there, we got the best wick yesterday and we got the best long yesterday. So we had back-to-back jacks here. We're hitting some home runs yesterday. So we'll fire off the hot dogs for yesterday. But for today, we're all the way back down to 35.20 again. And I mean, when you look at some of these levels on AMC, I love to go long. I mean, the breaks that you get on this thing when you're right are incredible, and that's why we like it. So looking down here, we were just at $30 a week ago. So, a move to 40 in a week is 75% or 25%, which is 33% from 30 to 40. So that's a big move. So there is going to be some correction there. Citigroup comes with the price target upgrade, but again, I guess it was only $5. I didn't even see that, but
yeah, it's pretty.
so it doesn't really matter. I mean, at least Citigroup's talking about it. So rate looking here, 34.50 maybe is a spot that we'll look to buy. We could fall into this area as well. $33 today. It's just the market's negative. We're down almost 1% on the NASDAQ. We're down almost 1% on the ES. And not only that, but it doesn't look like the COVID and the Delta is getting really anywhere better. And I think some of these reopen plays, I mean, just look at Disney right here. I mean, I really hate this stock, honestly. Disney down to like 173. Come on, man. Like, they just reported, and I thought, no, that's my AMC chart is still. They just reported, and I thought it was a good quarter, man, and they trapped everybody. It's everybody that bought up here is a trap. I was saying that was a great selling spot right there. I didn't do any of that. Thought that maybe the rebound was here, but wow, did everybody? I mean, I think if there's one stock that everyone should be pissed off about, I think it would be Disney, because that's a big earnings.
Well, that makes 2 of us.
Yep, that's a big earnings report right there to the upside. I mean,
I love Disney.
Look, I've already doubled my money on this name, and I could get out now and be up more than double. But the point is,
it's about missed opportunity.
It's just I'm just disappointed in the way it's performing. I mean, I just think that if the reopen is not going to happen, Disney sort of is leading the way. I think you could buy more down here at 170. So I think that's where if I'm going to get my money in somewhere, I think it'll probably be there. So let's wait to see where Disney goes from here. But on a reopen plan, I know that we started this with AMC, but I'm just a little disappointed in the way Disney's been acting. So reopen plays to the downside right now. Look at CCL, look at LUV, look at some of these other names that we like, and you'll see what I'm talking about. LUV is now down. I think it was 47? Yeah, so 47 today. Everybody was bigging up Mark Roberts there for a 50 when he was calling this at 50, but now he's down that 5% as well. So you're gonna have to just wait to see where we go here. I mean, $44 maybe for this stock, and then CCL, just another name. I know that's okay. Here we go. Cuts coming. It was a New York name, so we have to wait for it to load. But look at CCL, the same kind of thing, man. $31, $32, and then now today you got a 22 print, so you're right back into this area again for CCL. So let's wait to see what happens. I'm not super excited about these reopen plays. I think it could be a rough weekend, and maybe we get a bump Monday, Tuesday.
There was a Wedbush price target cut as well on both CCL and Norwegian, guys. So worth noting there for some of the travel names. Looking a little weak here in the pre-market as well. Let's bring in Arun and get a check of the overall market. Important day to understand what's going to matter as far as levels are concerned. Arun, we saw that selling increase after those Fed minutes yesterday.
Yeah, well, that Fed minute was quite aggressive in both directions. Actually, you saw that initial move to the downside, then it came right back into the range into the mid 40s, and then reversed back down towards the close. And once we broke 10, and keep in mind, I gave you guys 10 as the bottom end yesterday. Once we broke 10, it was gone, right? And it went straight 15 points down to 43.95, I think, is when we closed at 4 o'clock. And it kept going further after that when the futures finally closed at 4:15. So here we are now, even further down. We're down at 43.59. We're at 43.60, call it. Another 30 points from where we close the futures. What do we do at this point? When the market's gone this far, this fast, it's going to need some time to breathe. Whether that's an extension point or a complete reversal, that remains to be seen. But I'm going to mark off 43.75 as my inflection point. If we get to that and we start to fade again, I think I'm going to try to play for the extension to the downside. So short with a 43.75 stop, downside break towards 43.50, and then let it go from there, because I've got no levels down there, right? Now, if we break 43.75, I would hesitate, but I would be open to the idea of a long with 43.45 as my stop. We'll see how that goes. It all depends on how it breaks, how much time it spends, how much volume comes in above 43.75. Now, if we get above 43.75, we do have some resistance in the 43.90s, pretty much the area that we kind of hesitated towards the stock close, but not the futures close, around 4 o'clock, which is around 43.92 through 43.95. There's some action there to worry about. And from there on out, I think you really don't have a whole lot to work with in terms of major levels or major areas that would make you confident to be like, oh yeah, I'm going to go ahead and take a short here or not. So one area to keep an eye on for now. Of course, we can develop some more areas later on as we trade, but for now, 43.75 is the inflection point. If we can get close to that and fade, shorts are in play. If we break 43.50, 43.45, then you might even try to take the extension there as well if you're okay with the risk. The risk is probably going to be around 30 points or so if you decide to take that. But again, downside's wide open. We don't know what the targets are going to be. So in that situation, you kind of just let it go. And if you can get that short and just let it go and see how far it wants to go.
Great stuff. Thanks, Arun. We'll check back in again tomorrow morning. Let's continue along, guys, with what is moving around in the pre-market. If you're looking for the watch list, the absolutely free to you every single day morning note, that is the link. You need to go and register for that. All you need is an email address, and you can get access to the watch list. NVIDIA, we'll talk about NVIDIA here first. They increased their Q3 sales forecast. That was point number one. Q2 revenue, guys, up 68%. That was point number two, which was better than expected. $6.5 billion versus 6.3. So nice numbers here, but I mean, it's kind of ho-hum as far as what's happening here.
Before we get to NVIDIA, Robinhood just broke pre-market highs. 45.70 got tested only twice. This is actually a pre-market ridiculous dark pool print that comes at 8 o'clock, so don't worry about that. This was a high at 7 o'clock. When I sat down, I pushed into this 45.70 level, rejected it, held a higher low, just took the breakout, got 81s. I've scalped some out here at 46.20. I'll look at 47, 47 half, and then I don't know if we get to 50, but 47 was a big level on the way down for them. As far as NVIDIA goes, now this is pretty sleepy in the pre-market. But there is still, I mean, I just talked about a double top, and there's kind of one here on an NVIDIA at 198, and of course not split adjusted. So looking at the 15-minute, it's a really, really choppy on even on the higher time frame. I came in thinking, and I even said this in the show yesterday, it would be so much easier. It'd be so much easier if we were able to play off of like 185, 186. You come in and sit down, and then maybe you're buying in that particular way. But I look at this 195 top here, and it doesn't look very clean. So I don't like a breakout when it's sort of this dirty above it, right? Like it still needs to take out this level here, 196, before you make the run at that resistance level, which was kind of at 200. And even then, that wasn't a very, very clean level either. I think if there's a dip in NVIDIA, it would be a lot easier to maybe look back to a 190 and have an actionable trade there. I'm not super, super bullish on the market today. If you have to have something go, I mean, NVIDIA's quarter, you can't really pick anything that you hate out of it. They're going to have had a disappointment when it comes to, I guess their crypto mining division. But at the end of the day, that was like, I mean, it was expected 400 million, and they got 250 million, and that's just a drop in the bucket to their overall revenues overall. So I don't even think that's that big of a negative, despite that kind of being a thing in the report. So I mean, if it's a dip into 190, I definitely have a look at that at NVIDIA. I just don't think that 195 is very clean. And if the market's going to be weak today, I might take a shot. If I saw like 195 has some big resistance on it or a big level, I might take a shot at that. But I'd much rather buy a dip in NVIDIA than that 95 breakout. Just doesn't look that good to me.
We just got KSS long as well near the bottom. Yeah, I like a 190 here. We'll see what happens. This was in the close yesterday, this 190 area. Look, I mean, they're probably one of the best run companies as well. I mean, I love AMD and I love NVIDIA. I love who's running the place here. So let's wait to see what's going on. There we go. I'll put this to the upside. Let's wait to see where we go. But it looks like NVIDIA does have a good opportunity here today. It's only up 1.42%. I believe that's directly in relationship to this. If this had a plus in front of it, this will probably be up 4 or 5%. So let's wait to see what does happen here. I think NVIDIA is a beloved name, and I really don't think it's going anywhere. Anybody that's not in this name, you probably need to get into it. It's been a nice fall from 206 down here to 190 and change. So I'll probably be looking to reload some shares. I did get out a little bit, I think the day before the split, and that hasn't really worked out. I mean, it's sort of just been, I think it's about flat right now where it would be. So right now, NVIDIA just bouncing around. It didn't have a big movement yesterday, actually. I mean, even the last couple days, it's $3 or $4 movements every day. So you see yesterday 190 bottom there. Sorry, that's today no, that's yesterday off the earnings. Up there to 196 and then a drop back down. So I think that's that 190 level there that can hold on NVIDIA. So we'll look to pick some up if it gets down there. But again, I want to see this market open up first and see where we go. I'd rather buy something like a Palantir or something like that on any dips rather than NVIDIA.
Let's go to Robinhood next. An interesting fact that came out of this report. $4 of every $10 it made in revenue during the quarter, it came from Dogecoin trading specifically and cryptocurrency trading as well. So that's a pretty staggering number when you consider it. $4 of every 10 made. Sean read that quote from the report as well in the call for Robinhood as they are forecasting both lower account openings and also lower trading activity in Q3, guys.
Yeah, and we went over some of the historical prices, and it's not going to be a heck of a lot, but that's why the context is going to matter where the stock comes from. And we know from what happened when this opened up that there was an absolute wealth of buying in and around that 38 to 40 level. And certainly there was that, of course, in open interest at that 38 to 42 range. You've seen what happened since it broke above there. It's not to say that it's put in a capitulation bottom, but anytime you have that, and we've seen this sort of chart before. I'm not saying that Robinhood right now is a meme stock or will always be. But if you look back and you could pull up an AMC, you could pull up a GameStop, you could pull up any one of those names that's done a parabolic move like this, and then when they have this sort of slowdown and then this cluster and then form a bit of a wedge, and then they put in one of these bottoms, and I'm pointing right here to a couple of sessions ago, you get that 46 low here, and you make this nice little U-shape, little capitulation bottom, and then we're breaking right back above those levels. Do I think we have a chance? I think at least to get to this 47 mark, which was yesterday's bottom for sure. Down that 10%. I don't know that there should have been anything too shocking about anything in that report. I mean, everybody knew they were highly tied to crypto. Everybody understood that there's a slowdown in trading. All of the risks are known when it comes to pay for order flow. So, I mean, 10% seemed like a lot at the time. And on top of that, you had what would be implicit support, I think, down in those low 40s, making it possibly harder for there to be people selling into the bottom at that 43 level. So you're getting a bit of a bounce here. Now, would I be too stubborn with this? Am I holding a Robinhood long back through 45? No, because if I think support is probably closer to that 42 range, I would likely wait for that if there's a capitulation flush. And if it gets anywhere near 50, it's probably, look, I probably would still short the 50 level if we see it today, just given how it's behaved around that price.
Yeah, I'm going to be going long. I am long right now, and I'm going to be holding this one. It does go up to 46.60 there. We didn't get out. I wanted to see what happens at 44. So I'm going to be averaging into this one all the way back down to 44. So it doesn't look like anything on the daily chart. That is going to be Robinhood. I think it was not horrible. I talked about some of the headwinds there. It wasn't great quarter. There's no doubt about that. But I do think that it has the ability to run. So let's wait to see. I mean, Palantir sort of made some moves in the last couple of days that I didn't really think would happen either. So let's wait to see if this does have a chance to go here. And you might have saw me on my phone here. So I did just what's up to Stuart here. Anyone else have any new specifications or specifics, sorry, on Rule 115C2? I didn't even know what the hell this was. So I was actually just messaging VP at OTC Markets, Jeff Mendel, who's been on our show and a good friend of mine. So hopefully he'll be able to get back to me and let me know if that has anything to do with any of the restrictions. I looked it up. I mean, it doesn't look like it's too much. It just has to do with disclosing from a retail side of things the trade on there. So we'll wait to see if he gets back to me and that has anything to do with anything OTC. So Stuart, I'm on that for you, and I will be looking into that, and I am looking into that. I do have some bids here at 45.50, so we'll see if that can hold here on Robinhood, and we'll just go from there and see what happens. So what is it? Still okay, not too bad. Now 18 minutes until open, so that's really when we're going to be right or wrong on Robinhood. I mean, for right now, it's very, very low volume. We could check the imbalance locator. It's a NASDAQ name, so it won't be on there, but let's just do that. We haven't checked out lately. Alibaba basically on its way to zero right now, it seems like. So that's down, I think 166. Yeah, so that keeps going down. The last time I bought was 183. I'm not buying this thing anymore. So it's in my long-term account, which I don't plan on selling for a very, very long time. So maybe it is worth a buy, but until that story gets better, no. Ford is on here as a sell. Again, it's too early for me to start averaging into a lot of these positions. I'm very, very much in this for the long term. But one thing that we are cashing in on, we can spin the money is these XOM shorts, man. We called this back at $64. So the fact that it's at 53 right now in just under a month is quite an incredible move for oil and nat gas. So we'll continue to watch that. And then Pfizer, we talk about that as well. I'm just reviewing some stuff here that's on the imbalance locator. That appears to also be heading southbound. It doesn't look like a good open here. Let's see where we go on some of these longs.
Yeah, let's talk about Macy's, guys. One that is kind of standing out stronger than the rest at this point. Up 6.5% here in the pre-market. They approved a $500 million share buyback. They reinstated their dividend. They increased their full-year sales. I mean, everything seemed to be positive. One of those reports, though, where the year-over-year comparables were a bit laughable because of the pandemic number, of course, from last year, guys.
Okay, so I just put something out. You might hear me say, hell yeah, there in the background. We put out a bid here on KSS, right where we said we liked it, man. And now we got quite the winner on board. So we got a nice little 75-cent winner on board right now on KSS that just happened. So a dip down there to 52. I know we're talking about Macy's, and we will get to Macy's in a minute. And I have the same story on Macy's as well, but a huge win right now for me on KSS. So we just take that out. Like, I can't can't not take that out. I mean, I still want to hold out for higher, but I do have some offers a little bit lower. But this is a big trade for me, guys. Big. So I have more shares in this than anything else. So that's a good one. I was not expecting this 52 bid. So when that came down and we got hit there, that was a big one for me. May have you take some more out now. 70 cents in the money on KSS right now. And that was a good retail name, man. I don't think they missed either. So good trade there on KSS. Well, so far, it could fall down. I don't know. We'll wait to see here, though. Macy's right now, I like them just as much. So let's wait to see where they go now on this number, right? So Macy's drops down again, the same kind of drop down. We've been buying this thing a little bit. I do have bids down here at 19. They reinstated their dividend. They beat like crazy. I mean, the numbers are ridiculous. If you get our watch list, you'll be able to see everything on there. 62% jump in comparable sales. Full year net sales in the 23 billion. Ridiculous. Forecast of 21 billion. Expected earnings revenue 340 to 370 as opposed to 170 to 212. So, I mean, it's all over the place here with Macy's. I think it needs to go up. It's already up 7%, which is quite big. I'm not sure what. They did a 15-cent quarterly dividend. So we could figure that out into 20 bucks, what that's going to mean on the year. It's nice percentage back. They used to be a huge dividend payer, but obviously that was cut. So now we'll wait to see what happens on Macy's. I think it's a hella buy on any dips, and I'm locked and loaded already.
Yeah, I mean, I came in and was looking at the 15, and immediately what stood out is 1870 to 19 even here, and just this range of acceptance. And also, you want to put in yesterday's high as well, happens to be that 1870. So that's where I'm a buyer in front of. Lewis mentioned something about not liking Macy's and the way that it trades. And sometimes if you're like a really super active scalper, it can be a little bit dirty. So I want a move to happen, let it come in, give it a bit of more of a range than you would for an average $19 stock. And that's why I'm going to wait for it to get down to that range that I like. If it gets anywhere close to that 20, I mean, just look at the level, look at the resistance up at that 20 level on the daily chart there, guys. So maybe it's going to break out in the next couple of days. I'd much rather be buying on dips and then selling in front of that when you get an opportunity to on Macy's.
We were talking a little bit earlier, guys, about some weakness in the automakers this morning. There was another note there on GM that just came out a few minutes back. AT&T teaming up with GM for 5G connectivity to 2024 year models, vehicle year models, and beyond. So they're going to bring 5G connectivity right to your car for GM. Let's talk about Tesla. It was down more than this, obviously, early on. Trying to get back to the upside. The second inaugural AI day today, in fact, for Tesla. The last time they did this, Elon Musk said by mid-2020, this was back in 2019, Elon Musk said by mid-2020 they were going to have a fleet of autonomous Teslas roaming the roads. That has obviously not happened. So we'll see what happens with AI Day here for Tesla.
Got to call out Elon. Look, yeah, okay, so it didn't happen. That's fine. I mean, Tesla's going to be it's going to be a long-term play, and I understand there's been some obvious headwinds recently, whether it's some delivery problems that they've been having, and again, that's been there forever. But some interesting levels that we're getting into right now. It just made a bit of a move up. Not to 690. This right in here to that 680 level, which was right at that bottom. It was afternoon support, just below that 680 level if you look at it, and then basically almost all day long, I want to call it that 680 to 685. So inside of that range, don't love it too much. If we hold that cluster and then can break out at 685, that looks pretty sweet. If you're looking for downside support, 75 is going to still stay in play for me on Tesla. Yeah, of course, I got to zoom in here just a little bit. And when you go to the daily chart, we are after a bit of a fall through that 70 level. You're bouncing off that 50, you're bouncing off that 650 that we talked about a couple of days ago. And then if you can put in the 75 bottom today, then we're going to be all systems go. Whether it's today or tomorrow, I'll be looking for that 85. If it breaks into the 80 to 85 range and then maybe bounce off 85 once, then there could be a dip buy in like the low 80s or something like that on the way to a run to the upside here for Tesla. Of course, the thorn in the side of that is if the market heads southbound. If we're, and I'm just looking at the NASDAQ here, like if we're cracking 14.7 on the NASDAQ, well, then I'm not taking a breakout trade if we've just broken the low, right? So you got to put things into context here, and so to sit back in that place, I start shifting towards buying on any dips if I could on Tesla. I understand that it's down that 1.5%, but just looking at where the support happens to lie, and the fact that we're in this range now below that 680, I like the chance that if it can hold that $5 range, it has room to the upside.
Just funny. So Jeff has gotten back to me, and he did send us all a link.
Oh,
and I'm just going to put it in the chat right now. Hopefully, I can do that. I think I can here.
You can.
Thank you to Jeff Mendel here. It's just there it is. That's the link that I just posted there. Valeria, is that message that you put us in our chat. Okay, so maybe you can write that down there. It's 115C2-11. I'll put it one more time. Jeff Mendel from OTC Markets. Thank you so much, my friend, for putting that in there. Maybe we can review it. We'll have Jeff Mendel on next week maybe to talk about this, but or we can get him on soon today. But it goes into effect September 28th. So there's still a very, very long time. So no real rush on that one. And those of you that like Arun, today's going to be my last day for about a week and a bit. So Arun will be back in the building in this very seat starting tomorrow. So get ready for some guns a-blazing, as you guys like to say, with Arun coming for 6 days for me starting tomorrow. So Arun will be in the building. Look, Neil just talked about Tesla there. GM, I like GM here, but I mean, I was laughing. Like, I thought when I was buying here at 42, that was a pretty good price, and it goes all the way up to 64, and we're like, yeah, that's great. And then right now, it's fading back in. The reason why I like GM a hell of a lot more, the reason why I like Ford a hell of a lot more than GM definitely has to do with the fact that Ford has that F-150, and it's such a huge catalyst for them, and it's getting electrified. Their charts are going to look very, very similar. I think we have a bad wick on Ford, maybe.
Yeah.
On the daily chart. A couple of them to the upside, but okay, it still looks fine. It's just too bad I have to show you those. But anyways, the chart looks very, very similar. I think Ford's been holding up a little bit better than GM, but again, I think you need to get down to 10, 11 here before we buy any of these. Neil just did some work on Tesla there, so I'm not going to do it. I think Tesla's a buy on any dip, so let's get ready to rock and roll today, and we only have 8 minutes to go, guys.
All right, Cole's on the list as well. Mentioned a couple of times already, but let's go over the chart and the numbers here. They reported adjusted earnings of $248 per share versus $121. Revenue up 31.4%. Again, some of these comparable numbers going to be a little skewed because of what was happening last year. But regardless of that, nice look here for KSS to start.
So you talked a little cold, but I know you're going to get into it, Sean, here. Watch out for the SNOA, that super small 2 million share float. Just broke up to 11 for the second time. It clustered up the first time. It's trying to break this 11 even as we speak. If there's a stock, it's going to halt a bunch today. I kind of feel like it's going to be SNOA. And you can see I'm not actually short in this one, and I probably would only play this to the short side if it broke below 950 or halted to give me a halt entry. Looks like this one could be going.
Okay, so I do like, no more sticky notes for 6 weeks, for 6 days. That'll be fine. I do like KSS, so that's what we're talking about, right? KSS here. So we did get that dip buy, and that's why I was going crazy when that did happen. We were able to get some out here at 53, which was a good price. I think 52.90 or so right there. So we were able to get some out there on KSS. I still like it for a long trade here, right? A nice quarter on for Coles. Again, I like the retail spot here. I think as the market sort of just dips around here a little bit, you're going to be able to find some nice value here. I worry that Coles drops a little bit here off the open, which is why I put this 52 bid in. I didn't think we were going to get this low, but Coles again, 248 versus 121 EPS. Monster, right? Revenue up 31%. But remember, this is year over year. So last year we were not in a good spot. So there we go. The earnings estimate up 21%. Forward forecast in line with expectations. So if we get a nice little bump here on KSS off the open, I think we could retest 54. I don't know. I'm sort of with everybody here today. I don't want to take any longs breaking through levels because I feel that there is somewhat of a correction on board right now. So I'd rather buy dips and then play some rallies back. So that's what we're doing now on KSS, and we'll see if it can get going here into the open. Just a quick check. I see Brendan's at the big board. Okay, so now bought. So it's all the same. Macy's there on a buy. So that's, Macy's coming right back in here. Hopefully we can get some bids. Palantir on a sell, and that's on the sticky note as well, guys. We'll see if Palantir can drop to 24 again. We've had monster rallies off that 24 level, so we got to wait a little bit lower for Palantir. But right now we're rocking and rolling. We just did average in on Hood as well. So let's wait to see where all these names go, man. This is a very, very slippery slope here, I feel like.
One to remember from past couple of days, Verpax, VRPX, down significantly today, kind of extending the slide we saw yesterday after testing all the way up there into the upper 30s. If you remember, this thing closed at 20. by the time the session was over. So watch 18 is kind of resistance right now in the pre-market. Above that, watch for a move up to 20. So there is a bit of a gap to fill there above that 22. So if it does start going back to the upside, this thing could have a bit of a range. But looks like we're breaking downside right now, but 18 important for VRPX, guys.
I did, hold on a second. I did want to thank Lucas for picking up some of this today because our coffee machine is busted. So he went and got us. But next time you got to get dark roast because the normal roast for me is not that great. Is it, Valeria? I don't know if you've had any. I know she's a Starbucks kind of girl, but I'm going to just pass over to Neil and the box is right over there. So I'm just going to go fill up and be right back in like 1 minute.
Yeah, and I want to get to this. Only 5 minutes to go. I should mention PMCB, not avoiding it, but there was an offering. If you can't tell, if you come in and you see this, it's a pretty safe bet that there was an offering on a small cap stock. So it's barcoding off of $4. Might there be a trade here off of some size to catch like some, a few penny winners here and there? Possibly. Like that's certainly something that can happen, but it's not really on my radar. And it was a great stock yesterday. I just don't know if it's gonna be anything. You see Sean filling. That's the wrong shot. You had him in the other one. Well, it's not going to work if you have the lid on, but that's the thing. If it's before your coffee, like what do you expect? You got to get more coffee in there. And I'm with the dark roast as well. And a bit of a hack for you guys. Honey is not that bad. One of the best things you can use to sweeten coffee is legit. It's just a dab of maple syrup. And I'm talking real maple syrup, not that like bottled nonsense that you find in the stores. I'm pretty strict about that. I actually got into Robinhood as well. Some more shares that just dipped down to 45.50 a second time here. Sonnet looks like it's okay. That one's heading more to the downside. These wicks are ridiculous. Look, it did not crack it just didn't happen, right? Like you have these crazy dark pool wicks all the way up to $2. I was sitting in it just fine, grabbing 170 shorts, and it's still holding that 145, so still within the range that I like. One from yesterday, and this is ALF. I got out of this one time at 10.25. I shorted it a few times here in the pre-market. The last one at 10.41, which I'm sitting in right now, but it's grinding back up. I like this probably to at least 10.75. We were shorting earlier, so we'll take a shot there. And SNOA did break 11. I mean, very briefly. Went to 06. I slipped to 05, so I'm not top wick. Someone else paid a penny worse than I did. And then is again barcoding up here. So I'll give this back to 10.50. Like I said, if something is going to halt, this low float name feels like it could do it off of the open. But my first bet will be in front of 11.50 for profits, and then see if we can't let this one ride. So a couple of longs, Hood and SNOA going into the open. ALF and SON and to the short side. We'll be watching some Moderna, obviously, because you can't seem to get away from that stock. Just be careful trading SNOA. You know it's going to be a wild one.
Or like putting, McDonald's coffee is much better. And then I like putting, sometimes if I order it, I'll get some almond milk in instead of just the normal milk. But good. So now we are loaded up a little bit there. I drink probably like maybe 3 coffees a day, maybe at most. But that's what that is. And I bring this Yeti that the wife fills. Hey, if anybody knows what this guy's name is, put it in the chat. But I fill up the Yeti and then I just keep it there on the side and I drink a little bit on the way. Be quiet, Valeria. I put that, I know Valeria already knows what that is. Thank you, Nick W, for sure. You really like Trill there. I will enjoy the vacation, some cottaging happening there. I really like Trill long term, but I think it's cheap. Okay, we will look at that in a minute to give you an idea of what I think about it. I mean, I'm not sure if they reported yet or not. Of course, Trillium Therapeutics, we'll see what they're doing. But there's the daily chart on Trill right now. Wow. I mean, I have to look at it in this space though. And again, this is therapeutic, so it's going to be different. I do like Clover right now in some of this space. So I think I'd rather do that. But again, I don't know what caused basically no green days here in Trill. So we'll have to find out about that. And thank you for the super chat. I will look into some Trill a little bit for you. Hopefully, if the show dies down a little bit, we will have that opportunity to look. Okay, Robinhood. All right, the imbalances are out. So let's just quickly look at the NASDAQ here. As I noticed, Robinhood going to the downside. So probably on a sell. No, actually, it's just Sesson here on a sell to start off with. I don't see any other NASDAQ names on here of any SQQQ, that's about it. There's another NASDAQ name there, ACST. So right now it's just a lot of NYSE.
How big was Sesson? Sorry.
It's not that big.
Okay.
200, 300. BABA, Pfizer, everything, they're all on here. They're all sells. These are all big names that we like. So Pfizer, BABA, Ford, Palantir, all names that we look at. So again, it looks like we'll be opportunity to buy some of these dips. I don't want to buy Pfizer dips, although look at this. A nice little move up there from 48 up to 48.25 right there. So not bad. Macy's in the money, KSS in the money, Robinhood not. But we sort of expecting that from Hood here with only a minute left.
Oh yeah, and by the way, I might have said a couple of times in passing that I'd look to sell something like a lemonade today. I want to sell it on a pop, fading into 70. I'll take a break if it ever takes out yesterday's low. 2 days ago, this is 17th actually, so Tuesday's low at 66.50. I'm looking for a breakdown in that as well. Look, I like them long term. It just feels like if the market's rolling over, some of these high-flying names that are expensive could be under pressure. So Lemonade, a thinly traded stock. I tried to get some there at 69.50, but there's not a lot of liquidity. That might pop in off of the open there, guys. But we're about to drop the countdown. I think Miss V is on the bell. At least I assume she is because I saw her get up. So let's get this party started. Under 10 seconds to go. 8, 7, 6, 5. Let's get this party started. Come on, hold 45, Robinhood. 2 and 1, ring it.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to hold. Yes, sir. Thank you. I don't think we're going to hold at all. So we'll wait to see what does happen right now on our friendly neighborhood, Robinhood. Right now, we do have some more Macy's shares here. Let's see. We just got some out. We got some 19 bids there. Got some out 19, 18.
Come on.
So that's flying around here. Come on, let's go. We're loaded up on Robinhood, guys. So let's see if it breaks this 46. This is the level that we liked. We're bouncing right back up here on Robinhood.
That's absurd.
On Hood.
It's what bounces off 45.
Look, someone's holding this.
Nothing.
Look. I mean, look at this ARCA. It's not bouncing. Like, this is only...
Yeah, that's a refresher.
There's nothing happening there. The spread was quite large there. They had an opportunity to take out that 45.80, and they didn't. There it goes. Here we go. Brendan's so happy he's throwing stuff. Or is that Valeria? Let's keep going to the upside right now and trying to break through 46. KSS in trouble as it's approaching this $50 level.
And there goes SNOA up to $12 already. So the 11 break definitely in the money. I'm hanging on to this. I still think this thing can halt. If it halts upside, I'm holding through the halt. Looks like it's about to right here. 12.41 on the halt. I don't know if I can get more shares. I might actually go ahead and try and do that. Oh, give me. Can I get any? Can I get any? You can only fill on the bid here, so you can pop something on an Edge A or a Boss X or a BYX, and then in 15 seconds there it is.
Damn it.
Yeah, in 15 seconds you have a chance that you might be able to get that. out. While that's happening, I gotta take some out of this Robinhood because I want $1 in the money.
Bang, Robinhood. Let's go, man. Big trade here on Hood. Man, we back, man. Boys in the Hood. Up to no good, guys. Nice move right here. Big time trade here. I mean, come on, charts. Let's go. Big time trade here for Robinhood, man. 45 bottom holds. We just get some out at 46.50. Let's run, little man, run. Look at Macy's also in the building. Bang for Macy's, man. We're rocking and rolling, man. SNOA, these nuts, because we're going to the upside right now. Wish we had SNOA. Good trade, but we're crushing everything else. Let's go. We just need KSS to bounce.
So this will be open in either 5 or 10 minutes. Obviously, that'll be the case. The only thing that's not working, if you look at my board, is going to be Alpha. I'm not too worried about it. Sonnet did come into the downside, so we got a nice one here. But it's still holding 145. Remember, the first thing I did when we came to this name was show you guys the daily chart. 145 to 175, an area of price acceptance. That's why you scalp inside of the range. I'm not saying it's free money, but you know the levels. If you go over the levels, you can play the setups, and then it'll start to work out for you. Now, we just want to come back over to, of course, that Robinhood. Oh,
Bang!
Give me a break. Oh, load up. There we go. Robinhood goes to that 46.70 mark. Remember 47? That was a level on the way down. Is a level on the way up? Absolutely. The iceberg is now, man, I don't know if it's still there or not. We'll have to see if it goes back on the offer. But I like when icebergs break.
No, that iceberg was $1 ago.
I thought it was 46.70.
No,
it was 45. Never mind. So 47 is the only level that matters now to the upside.
Yeah, that was a long time ago. Yeah, that's why when we broke there, we went with our little spin it.
Money.
Okay, guys, big time
money,
trade here
money,
happening on Macy's, man.
money,
70 cents in the
money.
money, on Hood, 70 cents in the money there. Still trying to go to the upside. We're falling down now on KSS, so we got to watch out for a 50 level. This, again, we did empty some out. We just averaged in right now, so we're watching KSS, but Macy's bouncing around as well. Good outs, man. 1940 right here. We'll see if it can bounce back. It is fading out now, though, as well. Big move up in the NASDAQ, guys. Got to take advantage of that, and we did by cashing out some of Hood and a lot of Macy's, and now Macy's falling back down. We'll have to find some downside protection here. But I mean, I am worried a little bit about Kohl's because we just did take that 50-50 bid, and now it's starting to move back upside.
Yeah, and this is what Alf did. It popped in. I remember I said at 10.75, I liked for a rollover trade. It got to about 10.55. Now it's breaking towards the bottom. So I'll go ahead and see if I can't catch a bit of a bid here on Alf down around that 10 even area. I mean, I'm sitting there, with a 10.41 short. So obviously got to take some out in front of 10 when you get a flush like that. I wish I had added up here, but I was shooting 10.75. I told you guys that's what I like for a pop, so I wish I could have said, this is going to roll over 10.50. Obviously had that wrong by a little bit, although the short is still going to be a good one. That Sonnet now popping back up. So we took some shares out. Remember we talked about that resistance? It actually ends up halting here, but this is at 173. This is still well below all of these resistance levels. And as on a dollar stock, I'd already taken a bunch of profit out. I'm looking to jump back into the short on the reopen. It's still below that resistance level, and we took most of our position off. Actually got 3/4 of it out already. So let's see when this opens back up. We have about, I want to say, a minute and a half on SNOA that'll reopen, and then Sonnet is going to reopen in about 4 minutes or so. Coming back to 45 is Robinhood. That could be good for a reload. We'll see.
Yes, so right now we'll wait to see where we're going with this one, but nice little bid here for KSS, man, to the upside. So yeah, we did take that last bid there at 50-50, so now it's motoring into the money now. KSS starting to go back to the upside. This was a light position, obviously, when we get hit in the pre-market. These aren't super heavy. We did empty some out, but now KSS starting to work back to the upside right now. So a good trade here. I'm happy with KSS so far. Let's see where we go. I believe that's Brendo.
Another big mover from yesterday, GOC, if you remember, just popping back up above 6 here on decent volume, straight through to 650, guys. Some levels from the pre-market. Still down, though, for SGOC.
I remember SCOCO. Look, SCOCO was on the move. It halted a few times yesterday, but remember that VPRX? I mean, it caught a bit of a bid. It's not going to feel like a lot, but hey, up like $2 is still a solid move. This stock was as high as 38 in the pre-market yesterday. We'll watch for 19 to 19.50, those pre-market highs. If it tests anywhere closer, I'd probably be looking to fade it. For now, VRPX, it's short sell restricted, which means you want it on an uptick if you're going to be shorting anyways. So I'm looking for it to test that 19 area. Not there yet, but the volume's starting to pick up.
Okay, guys, here we go. So we just took a monster, man. We're $1 in the money now on KSS and still motoring higher. So a nice little dollar win here for KSS, $1.07 now in the money and still moving. So wow, a big time stock for me here today. KSS just continues to go up. That's Kohl's. I think 53, 54 is not out of the question here. So let's see if we can get back to some of these levels here. Nice bump. Yes, Kohl's. Yes, go. Banking through 52 now. So yes, sir. Nice little trade here for KSS. Go, go, go. Wow, this is a good one, man. We slaying dragons here on KSS. $1.34 now in the money on KSS. So let's go. I mean, this is great, man. We just hammered that one. Hot dogs for everybody. KSS going back to the upside. Whoopsies. KSS to the upside right now. Again, we got to get a little bit more out. So there we go. We'll double tap that out right now for big time wins on KSS. $1.50 in the money now. 15 cents now in the money. I mean, Macy's should have bought some dips. Too busy with KSS. Macy's now working backside to the money. So big trade today, big show. Hope you guys are enjoying it.
And reopened on a SNOA. I said I'd trade it to the short side only if it halted. It has halted. And we take that reopen trade where if it fails to break higher, so it broke 1250, gets to that 73 mark, not 75, not 13 even, and then I short, and I just able to get there at 1223. Look, this was a breakout at 11, so obviously if it gets down to 11 again, I think there could be some support down there. So I'll pipe some bids in the middle of that range above 50s, and if it gets down to that quarter, that'll be the next level. We're opened up in about a minute as well on SONN, where I still like it. It's still below that key level of mine, that 175 area. And of course, we are back to that 45 on Robinhood, so I'm still looking to play off of that level. Didn't quite, I saw quarters as the lowest price a second ago, but it looks like it did test 45.
Okay, yeah, Robinhood right now, I mean, still not doing too much. We did exit out there at these 46.50s. I mean, that was part of the plan anyways. We talked about 47 staring that in the face, and that we didn't have to worry about it. It didn't get up there, but we did have offers there just in case that did happen. Macy's, KSS, and Hood right now, the only names that we're looking at. We did try to take some Palantir long. It looks like we missed that long off that initial dip. No, it didn't. Okay, sorry, I was looking looking at this area here. I thought we dipped down, but we didn't. We're starting now to dip down into Palantir. So again, a little bit of a longer talk here. I do like $24, obviously down here on Palantir. I mean, the very bottom, 23.80, and so it's been a nice little runner. Yeah, those were the dips, but they were in the pre-market down to 24.60. So let's put a bid there in the 70s now and see if we can pick up some cheap Palantirs, 24.70s or so on that one. Let's go, KSS. What's up, Brendan?
Another one in the retail group from yesterday, guys. Remember how strong Lowe's was all day yesterday. Some day two action here. Coming up to yesterday's highs as we speak for Lowe's.
And speaking of highs, of course, I want to get over to Moderna if I can quickly. It's right at that 390 level, sorry, 390. It didn't get up to that 400, but very, very close. It's not the rollover trade because I was looking for 400 in particular, but a bit of a move to the upside. And watch how SNOA made a secondary push. I got it a second time here, stopped out, and now right back into this one. And we've just reopened on SONN. It's held that $2 at least for now, but a big level huge level at $2 on SONN. So I'm going to be trading that one to the short side in front of $2. Watch out, guys.
Okay, look at Macy's, guys. Still ripping upside. 39 cents, 40 cents, 50 cents winner right now on Macy's, and we are starting to cash that out. We did take out some more Kohl's there at 52, and it broke to the downside, so a big trade there on KSS and on Macy's. And then Robinhood, we're just waiting for that. Hopefully that can pop at some point. We're still there. Okay, NEO does make this dip down here right now. So NEO is approaching. I thought we had some bids, but I don't. NEO is approaching some of these levels that we talked about yesterday into this 30. Actually, we're way lower than that right now. That was 30. Sorry, that was 38 protecting yesterday. Now we're trying to do 37. So let's see if the market can get back going. We'll take another bid long here on NIO, guys.
And this is what I meant. SONN opens up, able to get like 70s, and then back into the short side in front of $2, guys. So $2 is holding for now. The stock with a 235 top print, so watch out for it. I still think it's going to be a good fade play. It's not nearly as strong as that SONN, but that is checking up here at $12. So I'm dug in for SNOA, I should say. I knew I was going to mix these two up. SNOA, which is holding around this $12, but SONN, I knew this was one I wanted to the short side when it reopened, so I jammed here, got some 192s. I want to be adding to it if I can in front of $2. Brendo?
Another decent mover here so far today. DoorDash, guys, down significantly. It was more than this, but huge volume, and I mean huge compared to yesterday, especially back to the upside here. So we just broke above some resistance there from the pre-market. Still down 4% though for DoorDash.
Oh yeah, oh, are we back to me yet? Bang! There it is. Sorry about that, Brendo. As Macy's, guys, just getting super excited here because look at the damage that we're doing on Macy's, man. I mean, and again, you have to be part of the Sticky Note Nation because if you're not, then you're missing out, man. I mean, this is what we talked about earlier on the show here, great guys. Look at Macy's. Great Q, dividend back, a buyback, solid numbers. Buy. Not even any levels given for Macy's. Just buy the damn stock. And now Macy's is ripping up to $20. We're hella long Macy's, guys. We're long at 1901 right now on Macy's. So let's keep going, man. Sticky Note Nation is back in the building. And look at KSS. You want to talk about back in the building? KSS right now, spin the money tree, guys. This has just been a great trade for me to the upside. Now $2 in the money. Macy's $1 in the money. KSS $2 in the money. We did pick up that little bid now on Palantir. Let's see where that can go. And we are bidding now on NEO. So small position started here, trying to pick up some of these nice plays that we normally like on the downside. But there it is again. Sticky Note Nation, guys. Congratulations and thank you for being part of it. Let's go.
And here comes Robinhood back to 45, guys. This is going to be the last ditch effort. If 45 breaks, I think support's down somewhere around 42 to 43 on Robinhood. So this is the last time I'm going to have it, Robinhood to this downside. Just added to it here. I just reversed into a long on Alphi. I think that's Alphi. That's what it's called. Yeah, Alpha just broke to the upside at 1060, so we'll get to that. But this is line in the sand time. It was good up to 47. That's the level we liked on Robinhood. But the $2 move, you got to be able to take it. Just because there's not a lot of support below that level, I think we have to be covering on a 45 break and then hunt for a lower price. It doesn't mean I don't want to be long ever again on this thing. Well, at least not ever again. I mean, for the rest of the day today. But there'll be a point to get back into. I just think support's going to be a heck of a lot lower than this 45.
Okay. Yeah. So I mean, I'm averaging. I'm going to go the other way and just think that we can hopefully try to break and go higher here. But yeah, 44, 40. I mean, they're all the same. I mean, once it breaks, and then it's see you later. Hopefully, we break to the upside on that one. But I mean, right now, guys, I'm really really, really impressed with being able to pick this up at that bottom there, 50-50. I mean, this is now a $3 winner on KSS, right? So, I mean, there it goes right to the upside. That's why we're stacking out the cash today. We hit it pretty big time there. Whenever you see me average in 3 times, I mean, this is exactly how I want to trade, and I want to go like, you know, on the right names here, and that's exactly I'm only trading names off the sticky note right now. So we will go into some other names if they start popping around, but for right now, I'm loving this trade, and there goes KSS, man. Just wish we would have held all of them. I wish I would have believed in it a little bit more than that, but right now, KSS to the upside. Wow, a big mover right there for me, so happy with that one. We are, oops, that's Palantir, sorry. We are looking to get longer into NEO here, but again, with the market, not too sure. It's down to 37. We're trying to get some longs ahead of this 37. Actually 37.02, that's probably a little bit too far down. Let's take some more bids right now. We are waiting for a 37 to crack, and then we'll reassess this. But this was a very, very light start. We talked about that as we are looking to average into this play. So let's see if we can do that and then get that money rolling one more time for us here on NEO. But here it comes right down to our price that we're looking to average in at, man, right here at 37. And then we'll see what happens a little bit lower. But NEO coming back down to the downside here after a few days of shaky areas, but NEO trying to bounce off 37, and we're long.
Yeah, Robinhood broke that 45, so I got long one more time in front of it. Once it broke, I don't want to give everything away, so we'll let it matriculate to the downside. I know 43 is the starting point. 42 is the top end of that IPO range. Sonnet here after the reopen. Okay, fine. Like, there was an actionable trade right into that $2, which you can take advantage of, but I actually went short both top and in this cluster down here. Now, I want to short this all the way up to $2, as I mentioned. Got a little bit early here, obviously, with a 185 print, but I've left myself some room. I kind of feel like this was the one that we said, if it goes to the upside, now, even after an upward halt, I wanted to be short Sonnet. That's SONN. Lemonade, this is crazy. Whoops. LMND, it's on the New York. This is kind of ridiculous. Try to get this one. The volume is absolutely dead. But I am sitting here, and this is legit. Like, I'm sitting here at 69.45, 46. It ticked up there and has fallen off. So, I mean, getting in passively on the stock probably not going to happen. If it retests the highs, I'll try to get a little bit more aggressive. But that's kind of nuts, man. Like, it would have been a clean dollar winner. But in a stock that's that thin, you have to observe the spread. If I had closed the 10-cent spread, I probably would have got a fill in lemonade. But I was just sitting there on the offer essentially since like 9:20 in the morning.
All right, it's Palantir time. Again, we're doing it again on this name, guys. We did it yesterday. We're doing it again right now. And this is how it goes, man. The only thing we're stepping up on here is Hood. Everything else is just massive winners today. One more time. We were perfect yesterday. We didn't have a losing trade on. Well, we may have had a losing trade, but at the end of the day, none of our names were negative yesterday. And we're trying to do the same thing here today. So here we go, man. Palantir starting to rip upside. I hope I have some offers out. I have one at 99 right now. We're long 79 right here. Let's take another piece off. Man, as hell, that's working out. And then look at KSS, man. We talked about that going back to 54. So, hey, look, this is the thing. I said this to Greg, like, I'm super happy to be taking a vacation, but at the same time, man, I'm going to miss the hell out of these markets. The way that I'm trading right now, I almost feel like I don't even want to be taking vacation. Look at NEO right now. Wow! Again, another Superman action right here for NIO, as that's up to 42 right now, guys. Look at these. Look at some of these trades right now today. Everything making that cash, and then there's Hood holding out, man. Holding that 45. Let's see. I mean, it broke, but we're still holding that level. We tried to get long. I thought we had, did I not? Where was my downward bid here? 46.73. I don't know how, or 44.73. Don't know how that, no, sorry. It was 44.40. We missed it. There goes Robinhood. What a day, Brendo. We're cooking up the profits today, but I see it's Miss V, I guess, over at the big screen. Hate to make her wait, but that's another name that we like over there. What's up to Clover? What a big day, Miss V.
Indeed, Sean. Well, Clover is at recent lows, guys. So do you see any trading opportunities in Clover today?
For me, it's not on my list, but I will look at Clover right now.
Clover's been a bit of a dead zone for me. Like, at the end of the day, if you're trading some of these like halt names, like, it's going to be a focus on them. SNOA starting to roll over. Remember what I said? This is one you have to watch closely. Stopped out one time, got back in when it was a fail break.
Wow.
Now it's working down to $11, so we'll sit in this. But I'll tell you the problem with Clover. Load up. I'll tell you the problem with Clover. If you don't get opening moves on a name like this is, look at the range from yesterday. literally non-existent. It just broke to the downside off of that 790 level. So unless you want to sit there and basically just be short off of like an 807, I mean, I don't really see it. Like to go to the upside, this has to break quarters. It's got to break quarters, and even then, you're only talking about moves to like that 850 level. There is just so much. There's so many other names I think that have the interest here, and I know it's 5 million shares worth of volume, but that one trade on a 930 rollover, it's like if I didn't catch that one, I probably wouldn't be paying attention to Clover unless it was above that 825 mark. And this is not. It's not to like crap on it, but look what the range is on the daily chart, right? Like you're either breaking down hard or you're holding these levels on a snapback and then breaking up to some fresh ones. And that would be that 8-quarter mark, if not even that 850 on a Clover. For me, like I was just saying, SONA is going to take my attention here. Whoops, that's still on Clover. I was able to get some out there, and it moved down to that 11, through that 1150. Was able to get some shares at 1150 there, but it's marching right back up to the upside. Now, since that halt at 1240, where I shorted in front of the halt, had a long trade, of course, that we made money on. Shorted in front of the halt, that was a loser, and then now we shorted again here at that 1225 mark. Decent chances could retest 13. If this were to, after a halt, jam down, hold the breakout price, you got to watch out for a 13 break. This stock could easily halt like several times more. It is a 2 million share float. It's already done 34 million by my count. So obviously a big one here. That Sonnet, as we expected, despite halting to the upside, very, very stable in between 180 and that $2 level. So that clearly weaker of the two. I know they're both part of the 100% club, but they're not trading the same way by a long shot.
All right, guys, we just tweeted out our positions here. So, yeah, what a day this has been so far here. And we can just review them if you want to. Hood, man, stay strong, stay long on Robinhood, and belly dance this one all the way to 46 and change right now. Robinhood trying to take out new highs. KSS, $3 in the money. Bang, right there, right? That, we should probably take this out. Macy's, 75 cents in the money right now. Bang, that's a win as well. These are going to be 5 for 5 right here. NEO, 30 cents in the money. Maybe that needs to come out as well. And then Palantir, 25 cents in the money. So let's just start going over some of these names and try to maybe get some out. That KSS was a big trade, man. Breaking through 54. We'll probably get this out. Looks like that's going to happen right now. So we will get out of this one on a 54 break. Sorry, that's not KSS. This is KSS. On a 54 break, we'll get out. It's just been high, 54.50 there. If it dips down, we'll get out of that one. Palantir, maybe we'll get out of a little bit there. And then Macy's right now, just taking out day's high, man. I do feel like this is a carnival, and I just said it in the chat. Really glad I'm making money now because I can pay for the vacay, but at the flip side, I wish I was here because the streak that we're on, man, I mean, it's unbelievable right now. Cashing in. Let's go get some more names from Brenda. What's up, bud?
Just reading about this Adamas, guys, if you like the little ones, ADMP popping up today. They have apparently the National Institute of Health published an article highlighting one of their treatments they're working on for COVID-19. So you can see volume, the story here, huge volume coming in. ADMP back above 110.
And here it comes. Here comes mRNA. It's making another push to the upside. Cannot get to that $4 range. So it looks like it's going to be a southbound day, at least potentially for Moderna. We talked about the 380 to 4 cluster. If it could have broken to the upside, that'd be fantastic. Keep your eye on that SNOA. Took some out there. I'm not averaging in unless it retests that 300. Sorry, 300. That 13 level. If that goes to 300, you'll see me probably jump off a chair or something. It's a $13 stock. mRNA about to roll over a little bit. 380 is still that big test. I like a breakdown at 380, and when you can't talk about that name without at least coming back over to Pfizer, which of course is on the New York, and Pfizer holding up. But if Pfizer were to get to 50 load, if Pfizer were to get to 50 instead of, there goes SONA to the long side. If Pfizer were to get to 50 before we actually have a look at this, this Moderna 400, I'd probably be fading Pfizer off 50 as well.
All right, guys. I mean, I'm just going to calm down a little bit here because this has just been such an incredible morning. And, whoa, we just got out of KSS there as well. So that thing's happening there. It does break through 54, so we do get out of that one. I mean, I don't even want to touch Macy's right now. This has just been a huge stock. It's just bouncing off 20. Maybe that is a spot. I mean, I'll feel bad, but we're pretty light on most of these right now. So we've already just celebrated everything. So that was a good trade for me so far today. Everything has been perfect as far as I'm concerned. I mean, obviously we could have got out more hood up here at 46.20, but we are pretty light on that one. It did exactly what we thought, man. I talked about that 44.50 as being possible resistance. Unfortunately, I was waiting a little bit lower than that, but it may test it one more time. So we'll see if hood can get back to the downside. That'll put a damper on the day so far. But I mean, right now we're really just cruising right now, and so far so good, man. Things are going perfect, and I'm still issuing the challenge to people for Street Fighter once we do have, if we ever do have, a get-together. I still think that would be kind of cool. Okay, there goes Macy's right now. Let's go floss it off. Sticky Note Nation is in the building one more time, and I mean, thank you for all the love there on Twitter. A lot of people responding to this tweet right here. And again, you know, Macy's, man, buy. That's all that we said, and man, did we buy. We bought this thing hand over fist, and now it's over $20. So a nice little trade there for us on the Sticky Note. I'll put the chat right there. And right now for me, man, I'm almost in vacation mode. It's chill central now. We just crushed it today. 5 for 5, lots of money being made, and it's only $9.53. How's everything going over there, Neo?
I got to pay for more shorts on the SONN. So I thought I swear we had some for free on SONN, and then I just ran out when I tried to get more, so I'm going to lock and load it. Other 5 cents a share now, that's a little bit pricey for that stock. Whatever, we'll go ahead and pay for it. I was looking at Pfizer if it got to that 50 level. It obviously didn't. That SNOA blew out that 13 top, immediately rejected it, so it's back to the short side for there. But Pfizer's starting to creep to 50. It could be a trade before Moderna is one, and I'm trying to be patient with Moderna. It's the same thing that I had over in Upstart. Instead of just sort of jamming in every single level on an Upstart, like I'm waiting for this to actually go. Give me that 380 level, give me that 400 level. That's going to be actionable for me there. So I want to go back over to that SONN because now I actually have those shorts. I don't know why. Like we had these for, I swear we had these for free. But SONN was able to finally just get some more locates. Watch this 180. This is what I was trying to get at. Like I hit 180 after the reopen. When I got top here at 92, I hit 180 on the way down and it refreshed. I then got more short here and then it refreshed again. And I've been holding off as it's put in lower highs. Now that it's putting in lower highs, I want to be poised to be able to get some more shares here. But ideally, it'll be on a 180 break. Now there is a bid at 180 on SONN, but it's not like it's done 50 million shares. That's 120,000. Like it's been holding because it's an iceberg, not because there's 120,000 shares there. But if it takes it out, I'll be hitting that bid as well. Up 150%, but look at this cluster here at 180. That's not a big enough order to hold it. If it gets taken out, I'm with it. Brendo?
We were noting some weakness in Chinese names once again this morning in the pre-market. Alibaba, one of them, guys, but we're right back to pre-market highs currently. So volume coming back in, trying to get this above these resistance levels from this morning for Baba.
I think we need to have more bad coffee more often because, yeah, look what is happening with Macy's right now. $1.25 now in the money on what was just an easy play for me there. I love the retail space, and you guys know that. Unfortunately, holy crap! Wow, KSS just exploding now to $55. I can't say enough about doing some pre-market work and doing some pre-market prep, coming in, knowing what positions you wanted, knowing the key levels, understanding how stocks move and things like that, guys. So super important when you think about what exactly is happening here in this market, right? Lots of crazy things, and you got to be able to hit these trades. So hopefully you guys are able to do that with us, and some big things happening here. 54 and change to the upside. Neo, it went up. We got out a majority of those shares here at that VWAP level. Let's put another trade there if we can, and then run Palantir, run up to 25.15. Let's take another piece out here, as I'm just worried about the market, as I've always been. I'm probably too worried about it, but we'll see where it goes now to the upside here with Palantir. Let's take a piece off.
Yeah, I just got finally into some lemonade. It just broke 70 and rejected, so I get into this one for the first time on a bit of a pop, and oh, that's what happened. I can do this, show you the fills. I don't know why that got taken off my 15-minute chart, but there it goes. This is lemonade. I like a fade from 70 all the way into 72. And the market's trying to get to the upside here, but I mean, overall, if there is a bit of a bounce, there's a clear level that I have on this stock, which is what I like to be able to do. You have to have resistance if you're going to make a play like that. Jumping back over to Tesla, I know this is not like Tesla. Come on. Tesla, this is one that we need to give me a break. There we go. This is one that we needed to actually make a hold above that 680. 75 is now on the bid and getting taken out at least several times here. It's trying to hold this bottom. Below here, there's 65 and 50 only. I like the long if we're holding 680 and then possibly breaking out at 685. If the market is going to rebound and Tesla's not going to go, and not going to hold this 675, like that's horrible for it. I think you're waiting back for the those mid 600 range if that's going to be the case. So Tesla doesn't seem to have the breakout that I wanted. Lemonade, we just got into it. I mean, if you see that go on the money at 30 or 40 cents, that's the spread sometimes on a lemonade. But if Tesla flushes, I'm looking right back to 665 and then 650. And with the market going somewhat to the upside, I don't want to jinx it here. Tesla on the low, it'll be a pickup at some point, but I'm not buying 75s. I'd rather be buying 80s into 85.
All right, so Coinbase does bounce off 45 again. Let's just see. I mean, it's actually pretty funny here today because it's not really moving anything. So just up and down and around. Like, you know, we have top tick here at 46.50 basically. I mean, we go up to 46.80. So we do have some top ticks. I wish we had a bottom tick there, but we don't. I was literally at 44.41, and I don't know why when I said that I wasn't going to be getting out of this at all until 44, and then I should have bought some at 44.50, but whatever. Lesson learned now with 25-cent win. We're at the highest spot we've been at all day, man. We are rocking and rolling here as Robinhood just continues to go to the upside, 25 cents in the money. But here it is. This is that same refresher that we had before at these levels, man, 45.70, 45.80. So let's take one more piece off here, just, you know, for 30 cents, and then we'll see if this breaks. Maybe we get some upside, but there is someone holding this down. That's for sure. That's Robinhood, man. KSS is definitely making it rain, guys. And we have the bottom tick on KSS today, 50.50. What a mover here. KSS up 5%. We have this the whole way, and we got some out there on a 54 break, but we can't hold forever. But that was a good trade. We could, but that was a good trade there on KSS. Just wish we had more. Making it rain, as people are saying right now on the chat. Thank you so much. I'm here, not next week, but the week after. So I was going to say I'm here all day, but I'm only here today. But we are coming back at 3 o'clock, and there is going to be no memes and movers, but that's coming back soon, we hope. On the big board right now with Brendan, let's see what's happening now. The market's holding up pretty good.
Hey guys, yeah, definitely off the lows that we saw in the pre-market here. We'll have a look at how things stand at this point. It's actually the Russell still leading to the downside, about a full percent for small caps right now, 0.96. You can see everything else trying to bounce, including the S&P all the way back to 0.14, the Dow 0.19, NASDAQ, both the composite and 100 about 0.4 to the downside. So tech stocks are lagging once again, as we've seen over this entire week. A couple things we were talking about from the pre-market. Just mentioned this Alibaba. Still kind of struggling here with some of the highs from the pre-market coming into play currently, but still decent volume for Baba trying to bounce. The other one, NVIDIA, not much to do here, really. I mean, it did give you a test of pre-market highs. We're back to basically support from aftermarket yesterday following those earnings for NVIDIA, guys. Back to you.
So here comes SNOA, not SONN, SONOA. It's actually exactly at 100%. That's kind of odd. Barcoding at, I don't know, sometimes these levels matter, but 1080 just got a bit of a I guess, an iceberg order there for a couple of seconds, and it was a close at 540. So that is actually exactly 100%. It catches a bit of a bid. I told you I had that short at 1245. That stopped out at 13. I then came, like, it was a ridiculous rejection here, and I wish I could have had, like, you know, this price at a 1225, but it just slammed to the downside. Wasn't able to get anything until like 1140. So this is only about $1 here when it could have actually been $2 if I'm a little bit faster on the keys. SONN bounces to the upside, so we waited. It was never an ad below that 180 because the buyer still held it up. It then failed, broke through 2 even just now. We waited for that 2. Remember this rollover here at 208? That's way back when at 7 a.m. That's always going to be a bit of a level as well. So when it breaks through 2, I'm jumping right back into it at $1.99. As far as that Tesla goes that we were just sort of talking about a couple of seconds ago, or minutes I should say ago, it bounces off of 273, so still not enough support. It is still trending to the downside despite the up market. If it holds that, like I said, if it holds a 680 bid, I'd rather be buying it off of, you know, following upward momentum as opposed to picking a bottom unless it's 650. Finally broke that 280 or 1080 on SNOA, so it's headed down towards 1050. This is me sitting on the bid at about 1035. Hopefully we'll get picked up. And if I can hold this one past like maybe like a $10 break, I'd be checking back between 850 and 9 even. What an unbelievable roller coaster ride that was. And SONN, like it's now flushing down the toilet. It's about to halt to the downside here. I'm holding through this halt. It's at 183. And remember, there's a buyer at 180. If this actually breaks that, not that you break a level in a halt, but if it breaches this price where the iceberg was at 180 on a reopen, I think this thing could easily retest 155, 160. This is the one I absolutely love. I said, even if it halts up, I'm going to short it into the $2 range after the halt up. That's what we did. It is now halted to the downside at $1.83. What do I think of stocks that halt when they go from 180 to $2 and then back? I think it's ridiculous. Because it's done 66 million. There's no lack of liquidity here. There isn't a need to be halting it, but we're going to trade it anyways. I've talked about this time and time again. I've talked to whatever. It's fine. Like I'm not crapping on the markets at all, but it doesn't make any sense to me a stock this liquid being halted. We're going to hold through this halt. I did take half of it out, and I want to see if it gets down to that 155 print.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing, guys. Like,
it's still stupid.
Yeah, if you misstep early, you can get right back on it, right? I mean, so you turn these stocks around. I mean, that's exactly what I did today as well on these big boys. So I mean, that's I'm just going to be trading to the long side here today. I do want to find some shorts. NEO now. I mean, look at the damage that we're doing on NIO right now. That's a 72-cent win now as well. So, I mean, we're just catapulting ourselves like crazy today. What a great way to end for me. It's only 10:03 right now. We have an interview coming up at 10:45. That should be fun today. And then NEO, I mean, we did exactly what we said, man. Dip buys and everything today is basically on here. The only thing that we missed was NVIDIA. Like, look, we talked about NEO. Buy any dips, NEO, okay? Easy peasy right there, lemon squeezy. Great call on Macy's, guys. Look where Macy's is. 2040, and we just got out of Macy's at $20.40. KSS, nice Q. Palantir, we buying NEO. We buying all of them. So let's see what happened with our friend NVIDIA. We can check that out when we get back from Brendan. But what a win there on Macy's, man. Cash register open. Macy's. What up, Brendan?
A bit of a laggard here in the same group, guys. TJX just popping up on a volume scanner, got through 73 again. So big offer was lifted. Heads up at the highs from yesterday, 73.65 we'll call it, but TJX starting to go.
Day trading mom, good catch on DLO. Now obviously we're not going to get to everything. That's why this is the best community. We always talk about it being the best community in the world. Do I like stocks that make parabolic moves? Do I like stocks that make breakouts? Yes, because you want to be able to trade price action. And if your setup involves gapping up stocks and running stocks, things of that nature, then you're going to want to make sure you get every single one of them. We'll see. I just want to make sure I'm not trading blind here. I mean, Brendan's going to be all over the news, obviously, but you do look at this going absolutely parabolic. And it's worth noting it made a move after market as well. Into this action. I don't have any obvious levels when I look at this name, but thank you for getting it to me. DLO will be all over it. At this particular time, I have like 2 minutes until we reopen on SONN, and I am holding a position in it. SNOA. Oh, these two are going to be a mouthful. You got to be kidding me. Did hold up at that 1050. This is me bidding 1034. This is it bouncing exactly off of that level, coming back into VWAP. If this holds VWAP here. Actually, you know what? I'm actually going ahead and cancel that bid because if it now were to print through, it's probably likely to break down closer to 10 even. So if we fall again, I'll just actively get out, like watch for it to turn, maybe hit the offer to cover those shares. But if this holds VWAP, it's not just VWAP. This is also $11 where we had the breakout long earlier. So this all started out with a long trade through a halt and then started shorting it post-halt. I love post-halt trading. I said I wouldn't short this thing until it actually had a halt. It did. Now we're on the south side. Holding below 11, or at least below 11 quarter, would be a definite big deal for SNOA, although I would not let this get past 1150. I think if it does that, I'm probably looking back to 1250 to 13. Always try to plan for the worst case scenario. Yes, it's sitting in the money, but if it breaks up, what am I going to do? Where am I getting out? Where am I getting back in? Out at 1150, back in between 1240 and about 1275.
All right, we're probably just going to be rolling pretty chilled out right now on most of these names, guys. Just because, again, we just took that high out there on Macy's. We missed that Neo, though. Let's take a piece out here at 60. There we go. So we will take a piece out of Neo. Now we're just holding pretty light to the upside, but there goes Robinhood as well, man. We got some 46.10s there on the way back up. We were holding out for the high of the day. I mean, Robinhood's just been cash cow today as well. If you were able to get some of these longs, it's actually held up pretty good here. So again, we have no LFT. We're at our highest spot we've been at all day just because we just got out. There we go. I mean, now Neil's going higher. So this is the thing. I mean, this is just really, really working out for us so far today. So it's been just a big, big day. We're going to go Robinhood long, right? All wins there. KSS. Unbelievable on KSS, so that's 2 for 2. Macy's, my number one. Well, KSS and Macy's is actually dollars apart on my net right now. And then Neo, so I'm just running through the trades that I have. Neo right now, we talk about buying those dips. Again, it's on Sticky Note Society. And then look at Palantir, man. Now this is now 50 cents in the money for Palantir. So I don't need to get any more shares involved here. So I'll still look at that. I'm going to try to find the best ideas for you. DraftKings, I was debating selling some DraftKings, but you know what? I mean, we don't need to. So it's up to 52 and change. We're long at 35 still. We weren't able to average in. Well, we didn't average in. We were able to, but we didn't average in on this dip here. Wanted to see if we did get back to where we're long down here. Doesn't look like that's going to happen. So DraftKings right now, as long as it's holding above the 50 period, I don't mind it. So that's a play that you guys could look at as well. Sessin, wow, Sessin down today as well.
That stock is absolute garbage. We'll go gonna go gates of hell here on SON, and it opens back up. We actually get, look, I'm taking more short. It goes below that 180 on SONN. I'm gonna short below that 180. So I end up getting 77s on the way back in. Yes, I was still holding some of my position from up top. We got out at 205 when it broke. We got back in when it was a failed break at 98. That was a great trade, but you move on to the next because who gives a damn? And then we get back in at 77. It goes all the way to about 169 here, so I scalp a bunch of this out here. I want to see us hold below that halt price at 183. If we can hold a 183, I'd take some more shares into the south side, but SONN, if this thing halts to the upside, this is going to be really, really annoying. It shouldn't be halting. It's somewhat safe to hold this through halt if you have conviction, just because the liquidity is so good, and it's not really breaking too far out of its range. Brendo?
A couple things. Victoria's Secret, guys, they reported not good to the downside aftermarket yesterday. You can see consolidating, though, near the top end of today's range anyways, so starting to look a little more positive for VSCO. The other one, this Sensionic, SENS, up 9%. Both Wainwright and Goldman initiating with a buy on this one today. Big volume there, guys.
Sens, so not Sessin. It's actually Sens. We remember Sens. That's definitely, like, we actually were mistaking this stock with SES and Sessin like several times before, which was kind of frustrating. Oh, give me a break. Sens, it's on the Amex. Formerly the Amex, the NYSE ARCA there. And this, I love parabolic movers, but I remember USENS, and I know this is on the midst of a breakout. So without even looking, I'm like, nope, not touching it, not touching it. If it gets to 4 to 420, that's going to be an actionable stock for me there, guys. Remember what I said? We're still below $2 on SONN. It's going to try to halt to the upside, and I'm going to hold on to it. This thing shouldn't be halting as often as it is. We've gone into that a couple of times. I'm shorting in front of $2 the entire day as long as I can. And Sens, not touching this thing to the short side unless we get to 4 or 420, somewhere in that range. It's nowhere close to that, but you got to plan for the future.
All right. Yeah, so just getting some shortable shares here. Everything's been good so far, man. So far, so good today. Really, really happy. I can keep going over the trades, but what's the point? Let's try to find some new ones here. CCL, maybe, for a new idea here. Let's have a quick look. We talked about a lot of these reopening plays. Maybe we'll look at Disney as well. A lot of these reopening plays getting crushed. Yeah, this is not the chart for me right now, so we'll look at that in a minute. But right now, this is not one that I'm looking at. That is CCL. So yeah, no on CCL right now, but we'll have a look more and see if that's going to do anything. I did want to look at Disney right now as well down here. So we'll see Disney. Hopefully they can make some money for us, and if they do, that's great. But right now, Disney 173. So that was a nice move off that bottom. And look, it did bounce off some of these bottoms as well. So maybe the reopen trade is a little bit better. We talked about the NASDAQ today. Look what's happening right here. We just turned green for NASDAQ. So big celebration there, guys. NASDAQ turning green, the NASDAQ. So look at NEO though, $1 in the money on NEO, 70 cents in the money on PLTR. What a good pickup that's been. 75 cents in the money now on Robinhood as that continues to make money moves to the upside as well. So yeah, we're cruising for some bruisings right now. And I don't know what to do. I mean, I'm just going to let Palantir just continue to run. We saw what it did yesterday. It was just like tick, 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 all the way to the upside. So when we talk about buying some bottoms there, that's exactly what we do, man. So big time trading today. Everything going really, really well for these big caps. I know Neil's there over there on some of those smaller ones going,
Watch out, Hood 47 still,
good. Hood 47.
No. Just watch the consolidation. Hood's consolidating at 46.
Yeah,
I'm
let's
watching
go.
Moderna here because Moderna's setting up for a bit of a break as well. Look at this 395 once, twice. Now, I like 400, obviously, but beggars can't be choosers. If the market's going upside and we can get a double top here on Moderna at 395, we're going to play off that. We're going to send you to Brennan in a second, but Hood 47 looks good. 95 looks pretty interesting on Moderna as well.
Yeah, one of the things bouncing, guys, as far as the NASDAQ is concerned, just saw this one. Netflix having quite the day here, up about 3%, coming back into some levels, but straight to the upside so far for Netflix.
All right, Netflix. We're just going to tweet out this Palantir trade because, I mean, it just keeps happening every day, buying some of these dips down here at the bottom. So we actually have low of the day again on Palantir. We literally have the low of the day there. We had the low of the day on KSS. We got rid of that one. We have the low of the day on NEO here as well, and we still have that. So, I mean, lots of things happening right now and some big trades on board, guys. So, so far, so good on all of these names. Roku flying. I just see someone put that in the chat there. What's up, Whitney? How you doing, Whitney? Roku flying right now. Let's see if she's right. Probably is. Why would she say that if it wasn't? Yeah, Roku, a nice little move off the bottom as well right now. Thank you for that, Whitney, as it's going to the upside right now. 351, 352, something like that. Looking to come inside here. But wow, what a good bottom. Like that's a $20 base. No, sorry, 338 to 351. So a nice $12 move straight to the upside. Let's check out my friend Square as well. That was near all time. Yeah, so we're still near all time highs as well. That's probably battled back a lot as well. So a nice little $5 move there. But yeah, man, we're over the moon with some of these trades that we've had today. And I hope you guys have taken advantage of this day as well.
Absolutely. And here's another one running, guys. Remember NAOV? That's starting to make a bit of a move. This is actually not a bad looking chart on the daily. We always talk about these parabolic movers and look for something that has a weak looking chart, but this is actually grinding now twice on parabolic moves and then still trying to hold up. Now you look at the 15 because you want to get an idea of what it's doing in the short term. It is trying to, whoops, that's still Mara, of course, so that's actually going to freeze and going to crash on me. But you can look at it on the daily chart here, guys. It's still trying to climb and hold above this 3 level. If it does close above 350 monster level on NAOV, that's something that could actually get tested in the next couple of days. About 20 seconds or 30 seconds till the reopen on SONN. You know I'll be involved in that one, waiting for the reopen. And SNOA, which of course was that crazy halt stock. Remember? Yeah, held out at that 1050. That was the last level we were able to get out. It does not break my stop at 1155. Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. That is exactly, 1150. That is exactly 1150 that it went to without stopping me out. Now, I think it's a decent chance that it will, but I'm sitting there with a 39 entry. And as I said, I'll be out at 50 and then looking for a re-entry if it fails at 13 one more time, guys, because that was a jailbreak to the downside on SONN. I know because I was in it and then couldn't get shares short until 1139, even though if you got 1225, congratulations to you there. It feels like it was possible, but I damn sure couldn't get any.
All right, so I'm putting an offer now. I mean, we are just cruising, and I almost got out on a Robinhood break to the downside. We're 75 cents in the money, but it's just kind of cruising around. So I'm going to put an offer right here at day's high and see if it wants to take me out there because it's just a little bit of a bump, a little bit of momentum here, and we can see if Robinhood wants to go. So we just tweeted at Aunt Kathy and said, let's keep buying these dips on Palantir. So that keeps going to the upside as well. So yeah, super happy. Let's find something else. Amazon, Moderna, 391. What about Pfizer? Coming back into play as well, up to 49.62. Let's check out some Pfizer right now. Good, but whoa, yeah, wow, okay. We talked about that early. There was a sell imbalance on Pfizer, right? So there it comes right down to 48 and change, and now you're up to 49.60. Wow. Pfizer traveling today. Was not expecting that kind of a move. As soon as we broke 49, it was game over. Straight up 60 cents now. As Robinhood, you are welcome, Carlos T-Man. I mean, thank you for watching and thank you for enjoying the show. I mean, yeah, Macy's was an unbelievable trade there. And again, I just keep pointing out the sticky note. I mean, if you keep watching that, hopefully I'm able, and that's why I'm doing the sticky note, guys, is because, again, come in here early, put in the work, do some stuff, put out the levels for you. And the sticky note has been such a huge success. And I thank all of you guys for that as well. So just keep on going with that. And we'll, hopefully we'll catch fire even more for you here. I did want to look at, so Palantir's still ripping up there. Space 25. Oh yeah, it was Pfizer. Okay, so Pfizer's still going. We'll look at some key levels there. I don't really know why this went up so much there today. But another name that I did want to talk about was AMC, because that is now down. Not too bad, but we are down on AMC today, down that 5%. These are some nice levels here. We've gone long in this 34.50 range before. So if that comes back to the downside, I do like 34.50 here on Pfizer, guys.
And there we go. $2 again. I mean, look, this stock shouldn't be halting like it is. I know it's ridiculous, but you have to sit through a halt, and it's like, okay, wait, can't get any more shares short. Wait for it to open back up. Wait for it to test $2 again. This could have all been happening instead of sitting around and waiting on this SONN. So jam back into it. We got like a 90 short here. I probably would add to it in front of that $2 if I could, if it goes back up there again. Robinhood, and I said this without looking, and apologies, I should have shown you guys the chart. That 47 where we were getting out earlier, retested here, and actually only goes to like 46.65, so not quite testing 47, but 47 was a level when we go back over. I mean, the daily chart's not going to show you a heck of a lot, but you can at least see it was a previous sort of support level and now turning into resistance. If 47 were to break on Robinhood, it could jailbreak. It's holding VWAP. That's another strong sign there, guys, so do watch out for that. SNOA, it's a good thing we got most of it out. It's about to break that 1150. If it does, look for a retest of 13 even. My radar is now back on for a breakout at Robinhood here at 47. The market's up. Robinhood is trying. It's not going to get positive on the day, I don't think. I mean, if it breaks 50, I'd be a little bit shocked. I'd probably be shorting in front of 50. But 47 break, maybe giving you at least $1 move, certainly seems plausible to me.
Yep. Yeah. So, Robinhood. Yeah. Robinhood. So, still hovering around, man. We're still 70 cents in the money, Robinhood for us today. So we're going to watch that and hopefully be able to take some profit there somewhere on Robinhood. I mean, again, I know exactly what we're doing with it. 46. We're waiting at day's high here on Robinhood. So we can zoom in a little bit more. We're waiting right up here. See if we get a little bit of a bump. Here we go. I mean, here's the bump right now, taking us out. Hopefully. It just needs to break 46.50, man. And if it can do that, it's just bounced off there a couple times. If we can break 46.50, then it's off to the races on Hood, man. And then there goes NIO, still looking to take out 38. I mean, it's taking it out, but looking to really get going off 38. 38.15, the new day high here on NEO, or not day high, that's the pre-market high, but we are tipping right now to 38.10, so that's going to be a good trade. Snapchat moving around. People were worried yesterday about Apple down there at 146, still down here, so I think this is a good opportunity as well to pick up some shares if you did need something on Apple, especially if we break right here, these pre-market highs, 146.30. I'm going to go on Apple here, 146.30. I like that trade. We won't go too heavy. Again, we've been crushing it all day today, but I like that level, 146.30 right now on Apple. Let's see if it can go here, especially if the NASDAQ wants to. So we're going to take out the day high, 146.30, and then go long on Apple. Maybe Softy might look a little bit better, but let's just have a quick look at that. Oh, here it comes. We got to get ready, locked and loaded on that one. Softy also, 292 might be a good play there as well. There goes Robinhood.
Well, still 46. I don't know if it made a big move there, but I want to say one thing about U.S. Steel. If the NASDAQ market is rebounding, you saw what happened yesterday. Strong moves for Nucor, U.S. Steel. A lot of those, I guess, infrastructure type names, those safe names, the commodity names there. But we talked about this 30 resistance, and it was $10 was significant on U.S. Steel, $20 was significant on U.S. Steel, $30 was already at top, and it's like if you're not selling something like this or taking some profit off in a situation like that, it doesn't make a heck of a lot of sense, especially if you're looking to swing or whatever. But now it's starting to come back in. If 27 breaks, look back into that 25. I think you could have a couple of days of red looking for the entire sector there. U.S. Steel, I mean, I like it at 20. I don't know if I'd be adding to my position at 25, but to each their own. Taking off at 30 was obvious. Brendo?
Hey guys, a number of small caps to contend with this morning. A little bit more action today, which was kind of nice. This Alphi back to the upside yesterday. You remember a nice run into the close. 1080 and then 11 was that little tiny consolidation from nearing the end of the day yesterday. Ends up being the levels that were the line in the sand for this thing in the pre-market. And then right out of the gate this morning at the open, 1080 and then 11. We're down to 10 even. Still decent volume though on ALF down about 7%. SGOC, this one popped up right at the open, right into support levels from late in the day yesterday, 660 up to about 675. Give you a great opportunity on a quick fail there, down to 580. So wide range today again for that SGOC. SNOA, I just did the same thing as there was a stock yesterday that had a really tiny float. This set up exactly the same. It was just kind of grinding higher into the open. So that initial push to the upside gave you about $2 of higher move for that one as well, guys. 2 million on the float for that one. Back over to you.
So it took a little bit, and this is kind of like one of those, like, it's frustrating because I could have actually had Lemonade a little bit earlier on in the session when it was testing that 60. Now, I still say that plane thing is louder than it was before. But it does break that 70, and I actually wait for it to come back down. I actually remove liquidity instead of just waiting. It tests the high again and then fails. So, and this is not to say that Lemonade is a bad stock. I own shares of Lemonade. I'll buy more when it breaks, if it breaks 60. I shouldn't say when. I should always say if. But now down to the 69 area. So I got close to 70 at the top there. I'm going to park on the bid in front of 69. We'll take some more shares at 68. And then, like I said, this stupid SON thing, whatever. Like, if it halts again, it's not going to surprise me. It's not, and I'm not. It's not that I'm frustrated. I am frustrated by the fact that stocks like this halt over and over again. But you have to sit this out, and then I have to wait it out until it goes up to $2, and then we can finally get some more shares. Basically, exactly what we did before, and then it's going to go parabolic to the downside. And now I have to cover more shares than I want to because it could halt again. Short. I mean, yeah, it could halt again at about like 170, 175. So, I'm just going to continue to play it the way that I have. Wait for the pop. I've been holding through the down halts each and every single time because I still think it has a chance to test 155 as long as it keeps rejecting $2, right? And it can't get anywhere near that 210 level where it fell over at 7 a.m. when retail came in and dumped it. Well, then I'm going to stay on the short side of this trade. I'll withstand some of these halt trades. When it does break down parabolically, you're going to see me jam out of a ton of shares. But I'm even still holding the 30% of the position that I just had because I still believe next level down 165, 170. After that, back to that 150. Is there support at 145 to 175? Absolutely. This is what we talked about. And the first thing we said about this is go to the daily chart and look at 145 to 175, right? So we know in this cluster there is going to be a lot of price acceptance, and that's why below that, when it entered that cluster in that last short, get a bunch of shares out. When I had it in the pre-market, get out in front of that bottom. I'm looking for it to hold down there one more time. It could halt going into that level, but this stock is going to cross 100 million shares at some point today. SONA, on the other hand, thought we had it dead to rights. Looked like it was about to roll over. We talked about that 1050 holding. My out was at 1150. I said if it broke 1150, I would sit back and wait for like a 1250 level. Unfortunately, that's going to be wrong. It's going to tick up maybe 20 cents or so. So if I had just simply blindly held on to this one, it'd probably still be in the money here and working to the downside. But I'm going to stick to the plan. It needed to pop back up, and I would short off of that 13 failure. That's the only way I want to get back into it. SONN didn't halt, but still working firmly in the money. If it pops up to 2, I'll short in front of 2 over and over and over again until it doesn't work. Did get the fill on Lemonade finally. So I'm not, like, again, I'll be happy to see this thing go to the upside in the long term, but just feeling like if the market's going to rebound, I feel like in this environment of 2 days down in a row, the market getting back into positive, it's the higher quality and better valued names that are likely to make this run or sustain this run. Something like Lemonade is probably going to at least suffer until you get a couple of days worth of upside, and then maybe if we were to close above this 70 area here, that could get you some push. But day one of a relief for a stock like Lemonade that doesn't really make a lot of money or any money right now, I kind of feel like it should still be under pressure. Naturally, I'm saying that because I'm short.
Man, we dropped some of those retail stocks way too early, man. I mean, Macy's, wow. This would be $1.75 right now on Macy's. This is $5, almost $6 on KSS for the win as well. But we still have, just update there. We did drop some NEO here. So it broke through 75. We let this thing run up to 38. We talked about that up there. That was $1 in the money there, and then we just take 75 cents. So we still take that win. A win is a win. We'll put it on the board. And right now, all we're doing, man, is just raining it down here today. We're at the highest spot we've been at all day, and we'll just keep going with it as well. So a nice little move to the downside. coming up very, very nicely there as well. Someone said here that Neil needs a vacation. Yeah, he's taking one right after me. So Neil, I'm gone next week. Neil's gone the week after that. So it's going to be a hell of a lot of Arun coming in the building.
I'll say this about vacation, by the way. And look, traders don't take enough vacation. Sean will say
I take too many.
We know it's true. But the biggest mistake that I'll be candid, the biggest mistake I made in my young trading career was like for the first 10 years, the only time I took off more than a day or two was to go to like weddings for people, because you can't avoid that. You go to a wedding for somebody that's a friend. I didn't take a vacation that was about me until a decade into my working career. And you're only young once. What's the point? Like I joke around saying that I'm cheap, but it's not. Like at some point you have to enjoy yourself. You do have to take time away and enjoy the fruits of your labors, guys. So being workaholic is great, but yeah, treat yourself a little bit, man. Like what's the point of all of this if you're not going to have at least a little bit of fun? Although we're both going to cottages, I believe. So neither one of us is actually like traveling.
Yeah.
God knows when I'll do that again. I don't know.
Look, I agree with Neil, but we have to take, like, they're forcing me to take vacation.
We got an email.
I didn't even take one last.
We got an email.
I took a week last year, and I don't think I took even anything the year before. But we always go up for a week. But I mean, I'm well traveled, man. I mean, I've been all over Europe and Asia and everything. So I did enjoy my younger times there. But Neil, you're still a young man, so you can travel as well. Very, very.
The gray's
soon.
on this side, eh? Lucas would have to give, it's that camera to see the gray.
Yeah, people believe me. People can see the grays, but on both of us. So it's not that we both are old at this point. But yeah,
not really.
Take vacations. Take vacations. I always look at the monetary side of things, and when you're rolling hot, it is hard. But hey, man, we're going up there. My kids are very, very excited.
On my honeymoon, I got an email from someone that I won't mention talking about how much they were up on like one of the mornings because it was a great trading opportunity. I'll never forget that. I'm like, really? On the honeymoon, you're going to remind me of the opportunities there. Before we go to Brendan here, and I know we're going to have Brendan.
Yeah, I'm with you, Chicago. Here.
I want to just talk about like Silvergate here because with the roll, we're at 3,000, for 45,000 and 3,000 last time I checked. And I I sold some Silvergate back in like the 115 range. If this thing breaks any lower, and this is a 15-minute chart, if this thing breaks any lower down into this 80 range, I think it's a buy, at least on a swing in front of 80. I'm not saying we're there yet, but if Ether cracks 3,000 and we hold below this 45 for quite some time and head down to 42, that's when I think I can get that 80 print on Silvergate here, guys. These dark pool wicks are crazy.
You guys want to talk about some crypto right now? I mean, look what's holding up right here is Cardano, the biggest and the baddest. I may just sell all of my Ether and everything and just go into ADA, man. I mean, Ether is dipping back down now, and Cardano staying up there strong. So relative strength there in ADA today. I hope you guys really, really like that, and hopefully we'll be able to do that soon. Yeah, my last vacation was to Paris, which was really super nice, and then pretty soon going to Budapest after this. But Muskoka bound, here I come. What's up, Brendo?
I saw this note aftermarket yesterday, guys, on Juniper Networks, JNPR. There was some chatter floating around about. Well, that's very small. Chatter floating around about an activist investor possibly having interest in JNPR. Big volume spike there, guys. Took this thing into 52-week high territory, up 2.5%. Heads up on Juniper, JNPR moving around. It's 10:30. Let's get a quick check on what's happening over in Europe this morning. Miss V is watching what's going on over there. What's up, V?
Hey Brandon, European markets are negative. Meanwhile, heating technology company NIBE Industrial Trading in Sweden is up more than 8% after posting a 64% jump in first half profit. Back to you.
All right, guys, coming up in about 15 minutes, as we mentioned. Great guest coming on Cardial Therapeutics, going to talk a little bit about their new products and efforts coming along as far as conditions, heart conditions are concerned, and treatments for some very difficult conditions that people are suffering with, specifically having to do with COVID as well. So that's coming up, as I mentioned, in 15 minutes, guys.
This is pretty hilarious because right here, so now I have friends all over the place, apparently, if you're my friend. I don't know, hopefully you are. David, what's up? You're from Budapest? I've been to Budapest, man. Danube there, I love everything about Budapest. I love the old streets, I love Budapest. So Budapest, that's where we're going. So we will be back there. And then someone else said here, if you're ever in Singapore, I've been to Singapore. So if I'm ever there again, I will give you a shout there. David Law, if I'm ever in Singapore again, I will holler at you. So yeah, spending the riches for sure. Budapest is it's awesome there, guys. Good party life, good lots of things there. Was there in my younger days. So Budapest, big things going on there. That is for sure. So yeah, it's going to be really, really fun here to trade with Neil and Arun next week, and then me and Arun the week after that, and then. I don't know. I mean, I'd love to have Brendan beside me, but he's killing it on the news desk, guys. So he won't be doing that, but Brendan killing it today as well, trading. So yeah, hopefully you can just continue to watch us, pay attention to what we're talking about, and you'll hopefully be able to make money. I'm on a crazy streak this year, this month, the last little while. So that's why I'm a little sad to take it off. But look at Neo here dropping it down, man. Excuse me, 37.73 and still making moves to the downside. So we did get out of that Neo. That was a good one. I'm thinking right now it's probably about time that I say like, hey man, maybe I need to get out of some PLTR. It is starting to fall back down. I was just watching it do this. We saw what it did yesterday. At some point we did. There it is, just like basically nothing until about 11 o'clock. So right now it's 10:30, so maybe we get that same move again back in for Palantir. But you know, we got to hold some profit, man. So if we break through 30, we will get out of Palantir, and we did give up some higher highs there. But hey, man, that is trading. I can't just take it out all the time when I'm in the money like this. So we do try to hold a little bit. It worked out for Macy's, I thought. I held this pretty good. We got out at 40 there off of a 19 bid. So again, that's a monster move for a $20 stock. So happy to take that. But right now it is fading back in a little bit. That is Macy's as well. Just wondering if the market got ahead of itself. It is positive here. I don't know, are we positive? No, we're not positive in the S&P, but we're close. Look at the NASDAQ, 0.01. Didn't think that was coming. So let's continue to take advantage, guys.
Yeah, and thank you for the super chat there. Mitchell Williams, not Mitch Williams. Mitch Williams, who will forever be in the near and dear hearts of every Toronto Blue Jays baseball fan for giving up that dinger. But Mitchell Williams, Chicago pizza is absolutely the best. Uno is fantastic. I've only been to Uno once, but man, it is the deep dish. It's absolutely worth it. Chicago's a great city, by the way. What they've done in the Lakeshore in Chicago is what Toronto needs to do because it's absolutely gorgeous there. Someone was asking what I'm doing with Sonnet. So in case you haven't guessed, I'm favoring the short side of the Sonnet trade. And as long as this thing, you know, every single two break, and I'll go over it one more time, every single $2 break or failed break to the upside, I've basically been shorting in front of it. I've been shorting when it fails. I've been shorting in front of it. Even when it halts to the upside, I'm shorting in front of it. And just, I love this setup. And when we don't retake a level like this 210, it just, for me, it's one direction. Now, if this breaks too, screams through 210 here, you might actually have a run at the high of the day. But you know, I've been pretty aggressive with it, and then I had no choice. But like, you have to get shares out. You know, that 180 level is now a thing after that iceberg order. That 145 to 175 cluster is real. It goes in there, and there's just a lot of chop, and that was the case in the pre-market off support. And when it dipped on the down halts, like, it actually checked up in the middle of that range. So there are some buyers in here in that 45 to 75 clusters. There's obviously a buyer here at 180. So you won't see me get in again unless it's really, really tight to that $2 level. Whereas before, I was sort of just shorting indiscriminately in front of 2. I'll probably be a little bit more picky here to get closer to a $2 price, guys.
Okay, so someone asked me about where were my levels for NVIDIA. I actually didn't even write down any levels. I did talk about, I mean, it is on the sticky note here, dips down into 190. I mean, obviously that would have worked. I mean, just looking at this, the market did rally off the open. So we did dip down right to 190, and then we just said, nope, and we kept going down to 1. I mean, I don't know if I would have got flushed out there or not. Let me just do some more work because someone asked about it. And again, I like talking about names that are on the watch list and on my sticky note because I know that's an interest for some of us, especially for me. But right there, yeah, see, so this is the problem here for NVIDIA. I mean, maybe I can zoom out just a little bit more here and see if there's anything on these. Yeah, I mean, ever since the split. So, okay. So we had to go back here to, actually, it's not that far. This is only July 27th. So, I mean, it's about a month, about three and a half weeks here. We did dip down to that 188 or so, but I can't remember. I think, was it the 21st or maybe it was the 27th? One of these days, you know, there's a split day in here somewhere, right? So that's probably where that dip comes from. I mean, I would not have looked down to 182. There's no way about that. But we are going to be doing a video about looking at higher time frames and stuff like that today. So 188 there probably would have been a good spot for NVIDIA. So anybody with me on that, that's, you know, those are some key levels there. 188 on NVIDIA. So if you are looking for that, thank you for the question. I can't remember who it was, but that's a good little level there for NVIDIA. So 188 on the downside, but right now we are cruising a little bit higher here for them on the day. I still like to see a 195 break, but the point is here, the NASDAQ did go positive. Now it's back down, so I'm not really sure if it is a party time or not here for NVIDIA. I'm going to leave this one alone today, only 1.22%. I don't like to trade too many names off earnings unless I have a great idea, and I mean, I loved Macy's and I loved Kohl's, both off earnings and both ripped faces off and are my number 1 and 2 stock right now. So, hey, we're going to go perfect today. We'll hit the air horn, celebrate it. We're only a couple minutes left here in the show. We are going to be going to an interview as well. So, hey, man, this has been a super, super day for me, and I hope it's been the same for you. Thank you for watching. We enjoy you guys just as much as you enjoy us.
Absolutely, guys. And I just want to go back to a name that we talked about, I think yesterday, maybe earlier on in the week, continuing to see the exact same level here on space, and it's around 25, but you see something like this, and it's like, okay, first time, 24.75 fail break, and I lost on this short. I remember it well, and then was able to get some shares at the top to make it back. But you then hold like 24.50, 24.60, and then again today like 24.70. You're really starting to bottle up here. And I said a couple of days ago, it's like I have to give up the ghost and get some shares back into this a little bit early. But if this thing were to actually break that 24.50, I mean, I still think there's downside to the low 20s here. Obviously, if we're going to end up holding it, I mean, the jailbreak gets you like maybe even a $5, $10 move. So I can't see this coiling up for too long on Virgin Galactic, guys. At some point, it's going to go. If it breaks to the downside, I day trade it short 24.50 and then be a buyer long term in the low 20s. If it breaks to the upside, it's just a momentum play. I'd be looking at more along the lines of 26.5, 26.75. But this thing is really starting to coil up. And you know it doesn't hang out one price range too long. You do not see clusters like this in Virgin Galactic. Last time was right back here, leading to that, not the original, but the second 27.50 break, and that was a double up. Not saying that's going to be the case, but this is going to make a move at some point. It's going to be a big one.
All right, and we are looking to get more long on Palantir right here. Notice our average price right now, $24.79, 60 cents in the money, but I don't mind this break right here, $25.40 on PLTR. Let's take that if we can get it. $25.40 on Palantir is going to be a new position for me. Just check back on NEO. Yeah, NEO. Wow, what a good out that was on NEO, man. It's coming right back in here one more time, so maybe there's a play there on NIO. But wow, good trading happening all over the place. NEO right back to the bottom. You can take a shot here if you do think the futures are going to go back up. I'm going to rest my head on Palantir, though. If the futures go back up, I want this a little bit more. Have we called for Brendan? No, not yet. Okay, so we won't go to him yet. And we'll just take back a look at Robinhood.
We'll do this.
Yep.
So someone was asking my opinion on Sonnet. I mean, like, it's just, I'm going to short it. And we're going to stay short. It's now back into that 175 range on SONN. Like I did last time, I'm taking some shares out when it gets into that 75 range. I'll get some bids down in the 160s. I still think it's getting down to test that 145 bottom at some point, but you know, over and over again, like this has been in an upward trend, and yes, you can make money shorting an upward trend, but I can't ignore that fact. So I don't want to completely look a gift horse in the mouth here, but we are getting another flush. It just made another breakdown of like 10 cents. On that $2 stock, you got to take profit off whenever you see something along those lines. So Sonnet's been a good one. It'll end up my top stock of the day as long as I don't completely bungle things. If it does break 210, it's always possible, but you knock on a little bit of wood. You have stops, you have an area stop, you can punch out. Liquidity is huge on Sonnet. Like, it's not like this is gonna run out of liquidity. That's why it's frustrating to see it halt all the time. It is 1040. You might have noticed usually every single day we go to Brendan. We're not ready just yet. Sorry, apologies. We're not quite ready for what I think is gonna be a bit of a mixed board. I know we're negative to start the day, but the NASDAQ, I think we ticked positive on the NASDAQ. It just reversed, by the way.
We did tick positive.
We did get positive on the NASDAQ. It just reversed. We're now down 0.14%. So let's see if we can hold that up. The ES faring worse. For the rest of what's going on in the market, let's go to Brendan for a sector watch.
Hey guys, yeah, a bit of a mixed bag. We'll have a look at how the S&P is faring so far. We are negative on the S&P, 0.33 to the downside currently. We were talking a little bit about the energy group and the pre-market. Oil down 3.5%. So a lot of these names going to follow suit here, anywhere from 2 to 5.5%. Pick an energy name. It is lower on the day. Industrial stocks also getting some selling pressure coming back in. Capital goods makers anyways. DE leading 3%. Caterpillar's here. Boeing's here. 2 to 3.5% in negative territory. If you come up to the tech group, kind of a choppy mess. It's really not much direction. As we said, the NASDAQ itself did go positive. We're kind of back and forth around that break-even point. SNPS worth noting 6% to the upside. DXC and FIS, though, right below it, kind of offsetting those gains and then some. So overall, exactly flat for tech stocks. Consumer discretionary names, some of the travel names under pressure again today. All the cruise lines, all the hotels are here to the downside. The airlines as well, worth mentioning, also to the downside. BBWI earnings name, they're up 7%. Far corner over there, material stocks worth noting as well, heavily to the downside today. 5.7% in negative territory for FCX. Overall, though, as we said, just 0.3 for the S&P. Guys, back to you.
All right. Yeah. So overall, not so bad. I mean, we thought it was going to be a little bit worse than that, and it is not. Yeah. So okay. So we talked about Robinhood there, back and forth a little bit. It just didn't get going, man. We got some out there, some out here. But you know, when all of your outs are above where you're in, it's a good day. But right now, it's coming back down. So 45.30. I mean, maybe Robinhood finally does break. I just got to make sure. I don't mind taking some more longs here, but it already had its chance to go and really did fail at the top there. So I don't know. I'm really surprised. Like, it's not really even moving that much. Like, I'm really surprised. I mean, it's down 10%, but we started the day here. So I don't know. We traveled up. This is where the market opened, right here at 45. We did break to 45. I know that's where you got out a little bit there. All of it. And then it goes back down here to 44.50. We're waiting for that bid. So if we can catch that bid, we'll take it. And then we'll just use 44 as an out. But right now, it's just not doing anything. I was expecting a little bit more here from Robinhood.
Yeah, I didn't touch it since that 45 break. When 45 broke, I mean, I even said, I go, well, if we break that level, I think we'll probably get a shot. Give me a second here. I got to get some shares out on that Sonnet, which is now down at 165. So that continues to go to the downside anyways. But I thought we'd go 45, break 45 into like 43. Right, and that obviously didn't happen. So I'm kind of, if something doesn't go to your plan and you're like, okay, fine, like we had the good long on Robinhood at least initially, got some good wins there, reload and got some at the top there, reload and then lose. It's fine. Took three swings at it, and if it doesn't want to break this 45, then maybe I never get that 43 price. But that's the plan. It still hasn't even tested 47 again, really. And I was just talking about Sonnet there, and I had to get some shares out. So I have multiple level 2, so I'm showing you guys a chart here, and if you see me got to do this and then like make a trade, that's just so in order to be able to give you guys a show, have to be able to monitor multiple symbols here and be talking about it. But that was pretty simple. It's in the money at this point, and I already know 145 is this bottom here that I want to take some shares out, like I said, in the 60s, which I just did. And then we'll get some more shares out in front of that 145 as it continues to the downside. So someone asked my opinion on Sonnet. It's only been short. Lemonade, I'm still holding on to. Contrasting at least a little bit from the other trades that I'm putting on. Like I would anticipate there's a decent chance I could still be in Lemonade when we're doing the 3 o'clock show. Obviously it can't be past the close, but you know, despite the fact the market's upside here today, talked about the reasons why I felt Lemonade could be a bit of a sell despite me liking this stock. And I like it a heck of a lot more than Root. And if you look where that thing is, maybe if you like $5, I thought Root was a $10 stock. Root's at $5 last time.
I mean, some of these stocks are way low. Like, I can't even understand some of these, but we are ready right now to go over to Brendan.
Thanks so much, guys. Yeah, Cardio Therapeutics is currently conducting a phase 2/3 trial on a CBD-based therapeutic for heart inflammation, specifically targeting patients with or that have had COVID-19. David Elsley is president and CEO of Cardio Therapeutics. A pleasure to speak to you today, David, and thanks for doing this, jumping on with us to talk about this, because it's an important topic and an interesting one. Let's discuss the trial first. Tell us where we are as far as progress goes and really where this got started.
Sure, Brendan. First of all, thank you for having us on. It's a pleasure to be here and tell you about the great work we're doing at Cardio. So this study is basically looking to confer protection to the most vulnerable patient population to the COVID virus. I think we all know the Delta variant is now making its rounds in this very powerful fourth wave, which is outpacing hospitalizations and mortality rates of previous waves in certain regions of the world today. And we have designed this study basically to protect the most vulnerable patient population, which are those with a prior history of heart disease or cardiovascular risk factors. They are at a markedly elevated risk of death and suffering major complications because of the immune response to the COVID virus, which can cause a massive inflammatory response and organ failure and ultimately death in thousands of patients.
Now, the term myocarditis has become more popular, I guess, over this period that we've been dealing with and talking about the COVID virus and some of the side effects. Talk us through exactly why this does occur, or where the initial response comes from, as you mentioned, and how you feel and how the company feels CBD specifically can not only be a therapeutic, but what are we specifically targeting here?
Essentially, we're targeting the ability of the CBD molecule to reduce inflammation and fibrosis, fibrosis is the process by which the heart dies or major organ systems die. CBD has been shown to be profoundly beneficial in reducing inflammatory processes and fibrotic processes without the toxicology that typically accompanies other inflammatory strategies such as steroids. With respect to myocarditis, myocarditis is a devastating form of heart inflammation. It remains the leading cause of sudden cardiac death in children and young healthy adults. And now we see myocarditis, it's primarily caused by a viral infection. So historically, you could think of the influenza virus. Now we have myocarditis-like phenomena secondary to COVID infection. A rare complication of mRNA vaccines is myocarditis, predominantly in young males. And certain of the cancer therapies, such as the checkpoint inhibitors, are causing a deadly form of acute myocarditis. So myocarditis prevalence is rising. It's tragic when it strikes. And at Cardiol Therapeutics, our second program is focused on addressing this deadly form of heart inflammation, for which there's no current standard of care available today. There is no recognized treatment for this condition.
Now, Cardiol recently completed its uplisting to the NASDAQ, trades under ticker symbol CRDL. Congratulations, first off, on the uplisting to the bigger exchange. Talk us through what that means for the company, getting that exposure on a major exchange like the NASDAQ, and what we could possibly see next for Cardiol.
The NASDAQ is the premier global exchange for life sciences and biotechnology and innovation companies, technology companies in general. The United States is the largest healthcare market in the world, has the largest heart failure population, largest cardiac population, where heart failure remains the leading cause of death and disability. And it's the number one reason people are hospitalized, driving about $30 billion in healthcare expenditures. So with the NASDAQ listing, we now have a platform to communicate far more effectively to the life sciences community, build the brand of Cardiol Therapeutics on the largest healthcare market in the world, and ultimately revalue the company, which we certainly believe has a long way to go. If we look at other proxies for what we're developing here, GW Pharma was the great trailblazer in this sector. They were acquired recently for $7 billion. Myocardia was acquired for $13 billion late last year, which had a new treatment for rare forms of heart disease. And that's the path we see this organization on. We're doing great work targeting inflammation. It's the number one culprit driving increasing mortality and morbidity in the heart failure population. And we're here to address those issues.
And it's a very important issue, as we said, specifically surrounding the COVID pandemic that unfortunately is lingering to this date. Let's discuss a little bit going forward here, David, as we continue to monitor the progress in this trial. A successful outcome. Do we see more trials going forward on other areas as far as heart disease is concerned? What is the end goal and then the next step for Cardiol?
So the major objectives of this organization on a near-term basis is to complete the landmark Lancer study, where we're studying the cardioprotective properties or the ability of this molecule to reduce risk of death and major cardiovascular complications in this population. And I think we're all learning in the wake of the Delta variant that we're probably more we're probably closer to the beginning of the pandemic than the end, unfortunately. We have a program that we're now initiating in acute myocarditis imminently, which is the leading cause of sudden cardiac death in children and young healthy adults. And then we have an entirely new innovation, a new formulation of the cannabidiol molecule to more specifically target drug concentration at cardiac tissue. And we plan to address that to the mass market of heart failure, which remains perhaps the second largest medical market in the world, leading cause of death and disability, second probably only to diabetes in terms of its size and scope and impact on human health.
David Elsley, President and CEO of Cardiol Therapeutics, joining us today. We wish you the best of luck and look forward to an update on this trial and hopefully many more in the future. David, thanks for doing this.
Thanks, Brandon. Great to be here today.
CRDL, guys, the ticker on the NASDAQ now, as we said, a recent uplisting.
Yeah, recently on the NASDAQ, we had it was a 15-minute chart up there because obviously it just went to the NASDAQ. And if you do look at it in Toronto...
Congratulations. I mean, the uplist is what's important.
And that's a big deal, of course. But if you do look at it in Toronto, you have been seeing at least a bit of a rally since then, and at that 250 level in Canadian dollars, of course. So that is a daily chart looking at it in Toronto. They get the uplist. Look, the NASDAQ's where the juice is at. You know what it is. I mean, I've been trading the biopharma space and in sort of that place. Space for quite some time, trading some small caps. Now, we only have about 7 minutes to go. Just a reminder to everybody, I know Sean's mentioned it a couple of times. I think, we're going to be back with memes and movers. There's absolutely no question about it. There was a lot of the testing's going on. It's been fantastic. Trader Pratt and Miss V are working very, very hard at it, the entire team. I mean, right now, like you guys can't see, like Lucas is switching the show by himself, because his work is being done to ensure that we can get you the product that you deserve. And the plus side, of course, is there will be the chat open all day long for you guys. So that'll kill two birds with one stone. It will be back. We absolutely promise you. It's just a matter of getting it absolutely right. We're back at 3 o'clock, obviously, because that's not going anywhere, guys. And maybe the market gets green today, although I hate that rejection that we just put on in the NASDAQ and the ES, but the NASDAQ now 0.06%. So, people talk about gloom and doom because it's 1%, and then here we are sort of shrugging that off. Now, it's not everything shrugging it off, because I'll go back over to Lemonade. I could be in it all day long, but I do have a bid down here below 68. If 68 gets taken out, it basically opened up right here, and on volume 68 was held. I think some stop orders might trigger it through. If I can take the range here from 70 all the way down to that low, grab it like $2.20, that's the plan. I still wanted a breakdown. I didn't say it had to happen today, but if this level does get taken out, if the market starts to capitulate and then a 66.50 gets taken out on Lemonade, I like that break as well. I also like fading into that 70 level. So a couple of ways to play this name. We got it on here. I will be taking it out if we get 67s. It could take all afternoon to get that move, though.
And we're willing to wait. I mean, sometimes you got to wait for your trades to come through. I mean, right here, even on Palantir, I am debating. I mean, not debating. I should be buying some of these bottoms. I was just wondering what the NASDAQ was going to do. So our average price right now on Palantir is at 20. So we're only 5 cents in the money off that. We did take a 40 break. We thought the NASDAQ wanted to get going there just before the interview. It does go up to 25.40, but now we'll hold it. Should have averaged in. We'll take another little small bid here on Palantir, then see if it does fade back in. It doesn't really. I mean, right now I'm using smaller shares. I did talk about that. So I think that's also very, very important to understand the share size that we use, and on trades that, we really believe in. It's kind of, if you ever see me average in, I have many more shares than normal. But basically, let's just check back on talk about holding something. This is now $2 in the money, this Macy's bottom. What a great call that was. Should have held that. I don't even want to look at KSS now. That is now $6 in the money. So again, just talking about holding here and trying to maybe, I don't know, I don't want to say be more responsible, but we get out early there and probably should not have. I did no idea that the NASDAQ and the ES both would turn positive today. So ES is getting close, and I think it does it very, very soon now. So that's why sometimes you do got to have a little bit of money there ready to rock and roll in case you do get these big moves. So there it is, some nice moves right there today, and I hope that you guys caught them like we did.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, it's going to happen. You're going to miss out on some here. Like, obviously, this SNOA, like I told you guys, the plan of action. I said if it broke 1150, that was my stop. So I got to stop. I'm going to adhere to it. It rolls back over. I said my next entry was going to be if it tested higher to 1250. I don't get it, obviously. And now we're down at $9. So it's going to happen. I did favor the short I did favor the short after that halt up, and we had that long trade. Unfortunately, the first short got stopped out there. Another short was looking pretty good, then got stopped out. Then I didn't get short until 11:50. You can have the direction right, but sometimes you follow your plan, and it's still not going to work out for you there. SNOA, to keep in mind, it's still up 75%. It was a $5.40 stock yesterday. And if you go from the 7 a.m. ramp that it had, and that was a big ramp that it had at 7 a.m., it's still held, it's still nowhere close to that 750 pullback that it had. Even after the breakout that happened at 8 o'clock, it dipped down into 830. That hasn't even been tested. There's tons of actionable levels on SNOA even throughout the rest of the day. So you know that's going to be still a mover. You know Robinhood, I shouldn't say this because last time I was like, oh, this stock is not going to sit in a barcode range for the rest of the day. That's exactly what SoFi did. I just can't see any way Robinhood just hangs out between 45 and like 45.5 for the rest of the day. If it breaks lower, I still like that support down at 43. And hopefully we get that 47 test. Some earnings to get to, not much, but still a few there, Brennan.
Yeah, not as exciting as the past couple of days, but here we go. Earnings for aftermarket tonight and before the open tomorrow.
AMAT doesn't excite you?
Yeah, there's lots there. Let's have a quick look. Yeah, I mean, Applied Materials is there. Oh, that's that Flora Growth. FLGC is there. And then, of course, Foot Locker, we talked about that with Nike, and that's a good look there as well. So, yeah, tomorrow looks to be somewhat interesting, but it's a Friday in the summertime, so you might not get some great volumes. But, hey, you don't need great volumes. You see the hitters today as it was a very, very good day. We rolled the dice on some of the longs, and we're able to cash in today. So, good day so far. Really, really happy. Let's just do it tomorrow.
Yeah, and I'm only going to say this about AMAT because I didn't take any AMAT off it when it got to a double top here at 146. This is a bit of a retracement down into like 125. It's already sitting there, but it's got, look, we talk about cluster support. It's got support 115 into that 125 mark. So on any bad print, there are definitely some great levels to be picking up on AMAT. We've seen NVIDIA basically hold up today. You know, and there's usually, look, for the entire space, there hasn't been much that they've been able to do in terms of reporting that's going to make them break out. So I do feel like you want to be looking at support levels for a name like this. And is that really the national day?
I don't know, but I forgot to review something, guys, and this is my favorite stock right now, so we'll floss it off. Look at Softy. We did it again, man. We're just putting the names on the board. They're coming in, and it is Crush City right now as Microsoft, $1 in the money right there. So that's a good one, man. We love this stock, so we'll hit the air horn for Mr. Softy as that keeps on ripping to the upside, man. There's that 292 break. So we also have Apple that just got in as well. That was at 146.36. That's coming. That's not moving as well. Let's get out of some Apple here and let the Microsoft do the talking for us. But it is National Daytime. Kill it, V.
Hey guys, thank you very much for spending this morning in our company. I wish you a great rest of the day, and please make sure you like this video. Your support means so much to us. We will see you at 3:00 p.m. Eastern Time, and happy National Potato Day, everyone.
What was it?
I mean,
a potato day? Actually, you said it's not a very good day. I think it's a very, very good day. Potato,
it's
very, very versatile. Boring.
It should be a type
potato is like the most versatile.
But that's
veggie.
My point is, it should be like there should be a day for like baked potato day. There should be a day for for French fry day. There should be a day for scalloped potatoes day. It's just potatoes in general.
Yeah, but how many days? I mean, that's why I like this. Day.
There's a lot of days.
Very, 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 very versatile day.
There's a good chance we're having potatoes for lunch because I feel like at least twice a week.
More.
We got maybe 3 times a week. Our starch is some form of potato. So to go on a limb, I'll be eating potatoes when we get out of here in just a few seconds. I don't know what we're having with it, but there'll be potatoes involved, and then we'll come back for 3 o'clock as we always do. As we said, Memes and Movers back eventually, just not yet until we can get it absolutely right. Trader Prad, he was excited. I don't know what it was over. I'm sure there was some good trades to be had for him too. I know they usually trade some Robinhood. For the entire team, thank you guys so much.
I did want to say, guys, I'll see you guys in 6 days. Okay, I'll be back at the close, but I'll see you guys in 6 days and let Arun keep this chair warm.
Absolutely, and Arun's going to do he always does a fantastic job. For the entire team, for Ms. V, there's a little bit of green in there. So I feel like it got us to the green. I mean, ES just turned green right now, so it got us green for Ms. V, for Brennan. Fantastic interview as always. That's an interesting company and a good one when you look at that chart as well. For Sean Katina, who is back for the close, like we said, but of course have a fantastic vacation. For those of you that don't tune in, you all should. I'm Neil Roberts. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Trader TV Live, and we'll see you at the close.
Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.